This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm at the radio station today. So, got to make sure. I've been up here for a while, actually, making sure everything's set up. Now, I'm going to lead today with this story on Mayor Giuliani and this car accident. And I just don't buy it. I'm sorry. I do not buy the Mayor Giuliani car accident story. You know, people forget about Mayor Giuliani and what he's done, okay, throughout his life. He didn't just take down the mob, which was amazing. And I promise you that Mayor Giuliani still has enemies from the mob days. No question about it. But he took down even a bigger mob, and that's the mob of the lawfare deep state that's been after our great president for over 10 years now. Because you've got to remember, Mayor Giuliani was the one who covered and broke the laptop story, the Hunter Biden laptop. The guy from the computer repair shop gave the hard drive to Mayor Giuliani. That's it, okay? And Giuliani was working for the president at the time, and Mayor Giuliani is the one that made all of that public. And right now, these deep state people are facing some pretty serious investigations. You know, what happened with John Bolton the other day, right? They raided both his house and his office. I promise you, not only did they find something, they knew what they were looking for when they got there. And these deep state people, they're not used to being questioned or held accountable. They've been going around with complete arrogance. And they definitely blame Mayor Giuliani for a lot of their problems, because that laptop from hell is what they believe has led to all of this, because there was so much evidence. So he has made a lot of enemies. And what makes me suspicious about the story with Giuliani, and there's some updates I'm going to go through when we start on the air in about 15 minutes. This is the pre-show. We're not on the. I'm at the radio station, but I'm not on the radio yet. The show doesn't start for about 15 minutes or so on the air. Car accidents happen. I've been in a few car accidents myself, but the story around the Giuliani car accident is just bizarre to me. So he's a passenger being driven by one of his assistants. They're driving down the road. And then all of a sudden, there's a woman who's a victim of a domestic violence incident on the side of the road needing his help. A damsel in distress. How many times have you watched a movie or a television show where they've used a broken down woman on the side of the road in a car to get a guy to pull over to help? Right? I mean, this is, you know, that sounds like a honeypot to me, right? I mean, how many of you guys out there have driven down the road and seen a sexy damsel in distress? Come on. In the days of cell phones and everything else, give me a break. So he stops to help and in fact, not only does he stop, he told his guy to stop, okay, his assistant that was driving. So they stop. He calls 911. The police arrived just in time to witness the collision. They weren't quite there yet, but they witnessed the collision when another girl, a younger girl, crashed into Giuliani's vehicle, causing all these injuries. So, come on. And we know that Mayor Giuliani has fallen victim to a honeypot before. Right? In the Borat movie, they used a honeypot. They got to do an interview. They got him up in a hotel room, you know, and remember all that with the microphone and everything? So I don't buy the story, you know, and the question is, and you guys can let me know in the chat what you think about this, yes or no. Was this just a random car accident like anybody else would get into? Or was this an attempted hit on Mayor Giuliani? And the fact that President Trump has announced that he's going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, okay, that's another thing that gets me wondering. You know, I believe he deserves the Medal of Freedom. President George W. Bush should have given him the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his great heroism on 9/11. No doubt about that. And I've been calling for years for Mayor Giuliani to be given a medal, so I'm glad he's getting it. But what's his condition like? You know, remember President Trump gave Rush Limbaugh the Presidential Medal of Freedom in his first term, and that's because he knew, and everyone knew, including Rush, that he was not going to be with us much longer. And is Giuliani in much worse condition than we've been led on to believe? Is this kind of like a Medal of Freedom thing with, it's a great honor. He's very well deserving, as was Rush. But I just am very suspicious here. So we'll take calls when the show starts. If you want to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, 888-465-2631. Do you think that the Giuliani story is what it looks like in the press, right? Is it a regular car accident that just randomly happened, finding this damsel in distress on the side of the road and then another woman hitting him? Or was it a hit? What do you guys think? I'm very suspect. I mean, you know, obviously we don't know for sure, but I don't think it was an accident. I think it was more likely an attempted hit on Mayor Giuliani. I mean, most people, if I saw a woman on the side of the road, in this day and age, first of all, you would assume they had a cell phone and they could call for help on their own. Very few people are actually stranded today. And if you're watching my live stream, I saw something on the way in. I'm going to reference when we're going to be on the air in about 10 minutes. And if you're on hold, I'll take calls after the radio show starts in about 10 minutes. But when I was driving in this morning on I-95, I saw a car pulled over on the swale, hazard lights on, 2 highway patrol just sped right by, didn't even stop. Most, you know, in this day and age, I know, I couldn't believe. What would get you to stop and help somebody that was just, one, you would assume that they had a cell phone and could call help. And if you were to intervene, unless they were in a major accident or were bleeding out, you would call 911 on your cell phone and say, hey, I passed this car. The woman seemed to be in distress, but not Giuliani. He had his guy stop the car and pull over. Why? Because he's got a problem with the ladies. He can't control himself. We know from the Borat incident that Mayor Giuliani has a weakness when it comes to the honeypot. And that just seems like a honeypot to me. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. And that's how it looks to me. Now, if it had been just a random car accident, like a regular style car accident, I would think a little differently. Okay? But this was not a random car accident. The damsel in distress angle is what sets off the sirens to me. And then how they called the police, and they got there, and the police were pulling up just in time to witness the accident that followed up. They got him injured, so they could easily sign off and say, "Oh, we saw it. It was an accident." No, something is not right with this. I am sorry to tell you, something is not right with this Giuliani story, and that they've come out so quick and said, "Oh, no foul play, nothing here." They came out immediately and said, "Oh, this was not a hit attempt." Why would they come out so quickly and say that there's no foul play? And first of all, how can they say there's no foul play without an investigation? And why say it so quick? Exactly. Something stinks here. Something stinks. And what it is exactly, we don't know. But something's not right. And I am going to take your calls on this because I am very suspect. Very suspect. And I know I'm not alone. How could I not be alone? How could you not agree with me on that? So let me know in the chat right now, yes or no. Do you think this was a hit or not? Yes or no? Was this a hit attempt or not? Yes or no? On Mayor Giuliani, America's mayor. Let me know what you think in the chat. Yes or no? Was this a hit attempt on Mayor Giuliani? Yes or no? And call me on the air with your thoughts on this. We'll be on the air shortly. 888-465-2631. Yeah, most people seem to agree. Most people seem to agree. Yeah. I got a lot of stories I'm going to be covering today. This is only one, but I'm going to open with this because, I talked about it a little bit yesterday at the beginning of the show, but it was, it's a holiday. It was Labor Day. So, there's a lot of people that were off yesterday. They may not have heard, but the reason I'm bringing this up today, again, is one, yesterday was a holiday, but the main reason is I'm watching the media coverage, and no one is, not even other conservatives like me that do shows like this, no one's questioning it. They're just assuming it was an accident. And that in itself is incredibly suspicious, isn't it? Absolutely. Now, one of the YouTube watchers sent me some really cool shirts. I'll show these again later to make sure they're watching. Annette K. Annette sent me a cool card. Alligators for Alligator Alcatraz. And then these cool Star Wars shirts. This one, I like them both. This one's my favorite of the two. I'll definitely wear this one a lot. You'll see this one on the live streams. Star Wars Hawaiian shirt. This is awesome. That's one. And then here's the other one. This is a Mandalorian Star Wars Hawaiian shirt, which is awesome. I could use some new Hawaiian shirts. Plus, they're in a smaller size because I lost all this weight. So thanks, Annette K, for the shirts. Awesome. Yes, yes. Yeah, they are nice. I will definitely be wearing those. You will see them on future streams. No doubt. Yeah, they're beautiful shirts. Thank you, Annette. Greatly appreciated. Well, my guess is on his condition, my guess is Rudy Giuliani's condition is not well with the president giving him the Medal of Freedom. That's like what really scared me. I'm like, oh my goodness. What's with the Presidential Medal of Freedom here, right? I mean, this is a lot of craziness going on here. I'm sorry. This is just not right. It's just not right. And I'm glad to see that I'm not alone in this, okay? Because sometimes I think I might be getting paranoid. And it's nice to see that I'm not. That you guys agree with me. No. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and we'll be live on the radio in just a few minutes. I'll go through, and I got a lot of other stories to cover too. This is my lead story, but I've got a lot of other stories to cover as well. Okay, and I just pinned the toll-free number is in the chat if you want to call in and share your opinion on this. We'll be live soon. The whole thing looks fishy. I'm sorry. The whole story with Mayor Giuliani stinks. Nothing could convince me otherwise. Nothing. Unless I get some evidence from, Giuliani and Trump's team. But what I'm seeing right now is very, based on what we know now, nothing could convince me that this is not suspicious. All these people talking about Trump's health on the left, they're trying to manifest it like they're a bunch of Wiccan witchcraft people. He's so healthy.
Not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information.
All right, this is the top of the hour break. When I use my studio at home, you don't get to hear all this stuff, the traffic, the weather.
Degrees, a low of 80 degrees into the evening, thunderstorms likely, and then a chance of thunderstorms. On Wednesday, a chance
We'll
of
be
thunderstorms
live shortly, guys.
High of 86 degrees into the evening on Wednesday, showers, and then a chance of showers with a low of 80.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
A True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. On the Turnpike, watch for construction at Boynton Beach Boulevard, and then again at Beeline Highway. There's roadwork Military Trail at 10th Avenue North.
It's the top of the hour break.
Call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey. Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's a great time to visit PBKC with poker, table games, and super OTB.
Oh, we're coming on early here.
Show season, the paddock has something for everyone. Reaction Band presents Motown Memories on October 3rd. Rat Pack Now, Rat Pack on October 17th, and Beer from the Horses Toby Keith tribute on November 8th. The poker room is open daily for cash games, tournaments, amazing promotions, and easy-to-play table games. PBKC is where winners play. For more info, go to pbkennelclub.com. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, it sure is. Welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, September 2nd, although for most people it feels like Monday because so many people were off on Labor Day. All right, we've got a lot to cover, and I'm going to jump right into it. I've got a lot of stories I'm going to break and drop on the program today, so you will not want to miss a single segment of today's show. But I'm going to start with this story that's just rubbing me the wrong way, and this is the Mayor Giuliani car accident. I don't buy that it was an accident. I'm going to need some more information to prove to me that this was an accident. And I'm really disturbed by it. Mayor Giuliani is not just a very well-known person. He's a great American hero. He earned the title that was given to him by the people of the United States, America's mayor, because of his heroic actions on September 11th. Remember, when Mayor Giuliani was at ground zero before the buildings fell and took charge in the front line on the war on terror in the first minutes after that attack, everyone else in the government was in hiding. The entire United States Congress, both houses, the Supreme Court, all the agencies of government, and the cabinet were hiding on military bases. They were flown out of D.C. and were hiding. Dick Cheney was in the bunker underneath the White House, deep underground, and George W. Bush was flying around on Air Force One, whose communication systems had failed, and he was incommunicado with his generals and everything. And the reason that George Bush went back to the White House on 9/11 and didn't stay in that mountain is because they couldn't communicate. It was the first time these systems had been used in a war scenario. They failed. So while the government was in chaos and in hiding, only Mayor Giuliani was out there in the front lines taking charge. Okay? And he's a great man. And even before 9/11, what he did was incredible. He rid New York City of crime. A lot of you, do you guys remember what it was like in New York City before Giuliani was mayor? It was terrifying. Disgusting. You know, you go to Times Square before, it was dangerous and disgusting. He cleaned up crime in D.C. He cleaned up crime in New York like Trump just did in D.C. and is soon to do in Chicago. He made a lot of enemies taking down the criminals. And before that, when he was a federal prosecutor, he took down top mafia bosses, made a lot of enemies with that. And then, Mayor, now this is the big one, and that's what leads me into being very suspicious about, and when I get into the details of this car accident, give me a break. Then, Mayor Giuliani, took down the biggest mob boss of all time, the Biden crime family. Because if you remember, the laptop was given to Mayor Giuliani by the computer repair shop guy that Hunter left the laptops with. Remember that? The whole laptop originated from Mayor Giuliani, and they put him through a lot. They've bankrupted him in the recent year or so. I remember he was driving around here in Palm Beach in his car, and they wanted to take his car from him. 81-year-old man. Now, you know, that John Bolton's home and office has been raided. I saw Brennan, who's one of the Obama coup conspirators against President Trump. I saw Brennan on TV over the weekend whining that he's financially broke now because of Trump and all this stuff. Michael Cohen over the weekend said to Joy Reid that these people are going to go to jail. Bolton in particular. And these deep state actors, as they call them, they believe the root of this started with Mayor Giuliani. So I'll go through the details of the story in a few minutes and read you the press account, but I'll give you the overview of what happened. And this is so suspicious to me, beyond imagination, when you consider the enemies that Mayor Giuliani has. And people, and he's done good. He's not deserving of anyone's wrath. He's a great American hero. So Mayor Giuliani is being driven in this rental Bronco by an aide of his in New Hampshire. They're driving down the road, and they see a hottie on the side of the road who needs help. She's apparently, according to the press accounts, she's involved in some type of domestic violence, was the story. So Mayor Giuliani, he wasn't driving, his aide was, told the guy to pull over and help this damsel in distress. Or, I believe, quite possibly, the honeypot. And, you know, as great of a man as Rudy Giuliani is, he's got a problem when it comes to the ladies. He's got a history. Most recently, he got a lot of negative publicity when Borat was doing the sequel, and Borat used a honeypot to get Giuliani into a hotel room. Remember that? Oh, my goodness. And he was undoing his clothes to put the microphone. It was... Okay? So they know that he can fall prey to honeypots. So he has his guy, he sees this damsel in distress on the side of the road, Mayor Giuliani. He has his guy pull over. They get out to help her. They call 911. As police are rolling up on the scene, they're not there. They haven't stopped. They haven't talked to Mayor Giuliani, at least not according to the reports we have thus far. They've not talked to the damsel in distress. the police are pulling up, and then boom, he gets rear-ended in his rental car by another woman, a 19-year-old girl. And to me, it seems like we got the honeypot damsel in distress, and the second, this collision that resulted in his serious injuries was there done just in time to have eyewitnesses, police officers. Oh, look at that, just rear-ended, happens all the time. Now, I will say this, if this was a normal car accident, I wouldn't be suspicious. How many movies and television shows have you seen where they're trying to get some guy and they get some hottie broken down on the side of the road, pretending she's broken down and needs help? And the guy pulls over. Next thing you know, they got him. If it was a regular car accident, I wouldn't even be thinking this. But this has honeypot written all over it with the timing of what's going on with Bolton and these other Obama coup conspirators against President Trump. It stinks. And I did mention this at the beginning of yesterday's show. I'm bringing it up again today for a couple of reasons. One, yesterday was Labor Day, a holiday. A lot of you were off. I do have some updates on it, which I'm sprinkling in as we talk. I'll go through the story, the details in a little bit. But the media are covering this like it's just an accident. Okay? No. Even other conservatives are talking about this like it's just a car accident. I don't buy that at all. And then when I heard yesterday, late in the day, that President Trump is awarding Mayor Giuliani the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which he is very much deserving of just for his actions in 9/11. He's deserving of that medal for all of these things that I've listed. I've been calling on him to get that medal since 9/11. George W. Bush should have given it to him. I'm surprised he didn't. Remember we had the Concert for America in New York City and everything? They should have given him the medal then, but they didn't. But he's deserving of it. But it makes me concerned about Mayor Giuliani's condition, because if you remember, the president in his first term gave Rush Limbaugh the Presidential Medal of Freedom right before he passed away, when we all knew he was passing because of the cancer. And he was deserving of it too. So my question to you is this. Do you think there's a chance that this was a hit attempt on Mayor Giuliani? Or do you think it was just a random car accident? Now, when I first heard he got into a car accident, I figured, yeah, he's like 80, 81. I first thought, was it here in Palm Beach? But then you find out he wasn't driving. And then there's this damsel in distress story. I mean, give me a break. You know, in this day and age, you don't pull over to help people except in some very unusual circumstances, because everyone's got a cell phone. If you're driving down the highway and you see someone on the side of the road that needs help, first of all, you assume they can call for help on their cell phone. You might use your cell phone to call for help, 911. But how often do you stop and help someone? There's the honeypot. Well, if you're some guy like Giuliani that has a honeypot problem, Borat, okay? Go watch that Borat. Don't do this until after 9. Don't do anything until after 9 a.m., but go and watch him on the Borat sequel. You see how this guy, he sees a honeypot. He doesn't see anything else. So do you think this was just a car accident, or do you think there's a good chance that this was a hit attempt on Mayor Giuliani? I think I'm leaning towards the hit attempt, in my opinion. Now, and I'll tell you another thing. They immediately came out and said, oh, no foul play here, just an accident. How can they determine that before an investigation? How can you have people come out and say no foul play here without an investigation? That's another red flag with this story, in my mind. Now, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You know, it's raining pretty much every afternoon, and the rains, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the rains have been so hard. Oh, my goodness. On Sunday, I was down at the Fort Lauderdale Beach, and I was driving home, and I was driving on the turnpike back home, and the rains, I mean, they were so hard I could really hear them hitting the car. It was a mess. It's rainy season. It's hurricane season. You know, if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Okay, I'm going to give you his cell phone number in a minute. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can call or text. I'm going to give you his website too. Now, the number on the website is the office number, and you're welcome to call the office number, but if you want to get the owner of the company directly, call or text on the cell phone, which I'm going to give you in just a moment. Tom Laporta handles every type of roof and every type of structure. Residential, commercial, municipal. He can handle a job of any size, from one office building, one small single-family home, or an HOA with over 300 units. It's no problem. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Here's his number, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right. We are in break. If you're on hold, stand by. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe, all right? Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. The number is pinned in the live stream if you want to call in. Hey, Jeremy, do you know how to check the delay to make sure it's on?
The delay?
Yeah. Can you check it just before I go to the calls, if you don't mind? Okay. Mike is off today. That's why I'm at the radio station. Mike the board op.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie and I will advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice, and every cost. Open enrollment is coming up really soon. Some plans are being canceled. Others pulling out of the Medicare market at the end of 2025. Call Debbie. She represents all the major national companies. The number 954-753-8080.
We'll be back shortly.
954-753-8080. Tell her Steve Kane sent you. This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything.
If you're on hold, stand by. Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, my goodness. We're going to hit that century mark, half-century mark soon. Oh, my God. I told Steve, once you break the 50-year mark, that record will last. Nobody will break that. No one will break that record. So we got to get Steve to the 50-year mark. Okay, on the air. I'm going to go to the phones, and I've got a lot to cover, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that the Giuliani car accident was just a random car accident with the damsel in distress and all this stuff, or do you think it was an attempted hit on Mayor Giuliani? Our number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yes.
Yeah, I live in Broward, and I'm getting Voice of the Caribbean.
I know. I know. I know. We're going to get a lot of these calls today, Jeremy. I know. There's been a switch up with one of our radio stations, which I don't have all the information enough to give you a clear answer, but you can listen to us on iHeartRadio or flip through the dial and find us on one of the other stations we're on. But we're doing a switch on one of our signals, and I just, yeah, okay, all right. I mean, I know yeah, we're going to get a lot of those calls today. So maybe I should find out what station. Can you find out for me? Do you have an email? Don't call anybody at this hour. Do you have the email? They sent me an email, but I forgot it. All right. I appreciate it. You know, this is the only radio show where listeners call in when they have any trouble picking up the radio station, and that's really awesome to me. I got this one friend of mine. I got a few friends, believe it or not, but my radio friends, they're like, why do you let people on the air that do that? And I said, does anybody, and I always say the same thing, do people call you at your radio station when they can't hear you? And they say, no. I was like, well, there you go. It's what, you know, you should worry. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. First, I heard some news that I hadn't heard anywhere else from you. Brendan, he's getting the screws put to him, in which I'm delighted. He's a professed enemy, a professed communist.
That's right.
Dark state operative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything that happens to him, I hope it's...
Well, he said he's broke. See, the deep state are at work. You may have seen, there was a story I saw yesterday. I saw it from Ro Kahana. Massey is going to have a press conference, I think tomorrow, Wednesday, with some Epstein victims, right? You know that the reason all this Epstein stuff has been in the news lately is deep state leak. They're trying to get a thing going because they're freaked out. So anytime Epstein's in the news or on social media, that's a deep state action. This press conference with Massey with Epstein victims, I fully expect some false claims against President Trump. It would not surprise me. That's deep state action. And you time it with this Giuliani accident. Do you think this Mayor Giuliani car accident is just an accident, or do you think it was an attempt?
I could see them getting a 19-year-old to do that. There's to this day, there's people that think the exact same scenario happened to General Patton.
That's right.
Okay.
Bill O'Reilly wrote a book about it, Killing Patton. Yeah. He believes that a Soviet sharpshooter is responsible for Patton. You know, that it was a hit.
Oh, really? I thought that it was a car wreck, and he...
It was a car wreck. It was a car wreck, but he believes the car wreck was caused by the sharpshooter, the Soviet sharpshooter. It's been a while since I've read the book. You know, that book came out years ago, like 10 years ago. I read it when it came out. But I think Patton was assassinated. Yeah, I don't think that was a random car accident. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he was a loaded character. He first saw the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
He said some pretty amazing things that had people.
But you got to understand, Mayor. I appreciate the call. You see, you got to understand with Mayor Giuliani, he's the one that broke the laptop story. Okay, so that has turned things pretty hardcore against these deep state actors that we're talking about all the time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, I just thought about this as you were originally talking about this just now. This could be an attack on a Trump loyalist. Because make no mistake about it, Giuliani is a Trump loyalist.
Well, yeah, and a lot of these people that are getting jammed up right now are some of the ones that signed off on that fake letter that the laptop was Russian disinformation, and a lot of them are on the radar now. So you're leaning towards that this very well may have been a hit attempt, not a regular random car accident?
Yeah, by the people that are tied to the coup attempt.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right. Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone in this, because sometimes I think maybe I'm starting to get paranoid, but it seems people are agreeing with me on this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Sounds like you.
Oh, okay. I'm from Texas. My name is Aaron.
Oh, here we go. Yes, go ahead. This is why I had you check the thing. Go ahead, Aaron.
We're talking about Rudy Giuliani and the laptop at some repair shop, and he forgot about it because he was messed out of his mind. And
yeah, but the laptop hard drive had in it all kinds of information detailing criminal activity by his scummy family,
and as well as the Burisma pipeline, and you.
Yeah. So anyway, so what's your opinions on all of this?
My opinion is the deep state is still deep brain, and Trump needs to watch his back.
Yeah, well, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Okay, so thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Jeremy's filling in for Mike today. Okay, so for those of you that have been listening to us on 96.9 FM in Broward, although if you're listening, you can't hear me say this on 96.9 right now. But if you've been listening to us on 96.9 FM in Broward, switch over to 104.3 on your HD FM. You can listen on our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, or you can also listen to us on iHeartRadio. And here's another thing. I know people sometimes get aggravated when I do this, but I do it sometimes. I haven't done it in a while. Alexa, play True Oldies FLA. Now here's the part they don't like. Watch this. Alexa, volume 6. There you go. Now you can listen to us that way too. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Jacob. I'm from.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with.
What are you disagreeing with? What are you disagreeing with?
I have to disagree that, it's the Republicans and Democrats.
You have to disagree that it's Republicans and Democrats? Then what do you, I don't understand what you're talking about.
The corporations that are the deep state.
The corporations?
It's a big hit.
The corporations, yeah, like an alien. All right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And something miraculous happened to me on Friday. I got off the air on Friday, and when I get off the air, my blood pressure is through the roof. It's through the roof. I remember I was across the hall from the radio station at Game Day Men's Health, and they took my blood pressure, and they're like, Brian, you got. I was like, no. It's just because I got off the air. And any time I've gotten off the air in years, I do not have high blood pressure. I used to a long time ago. But when I get off the air, my blood pressure is always in the danger zone. It really is. And it's really scary high. And Friday, after the show, my wife said, I want to take your blood pressure. And I had a headache. And my wife is very health conscious, and she's like, we got to take your blood pressure. And I said, no. And then she reminded me, my stepfather, he was having headaches, and my wife took his blood pressure. It was through the roof, and he had a stroke right after that. I mean, it caused a stroke. So, so she took my blood pressure. I had a headache. This was Friday's show. She took my blood pressure, and I was really nervous about it. I said, it's going to be through the... Not only was it normal, it was lower than my normal is. And, you know, Friday's show, that's the open phone Friday, the open MAGA mic Friday with weirdo after weirdo I'm dealing with. I had 8 shots of espresso in the morning because I was, you know, I had a lot of, and I had a headache, and my blood pressure was lower than my normal. You know why that is? Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've lost all this weight from Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and even these lunatics during the show aren't driving my blood pressure up anymore. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? It's amazing. And that was the first time that I've taken my blood pressure when I've gotten off the air in about 15 years. And not only was it not high, it was normal and better than my normal. Isn't that nuts? It's great. It's awesome. Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Give them a call, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio.
Oops. If you're a Medicare recipient or about to turn 65, listen up. I want to talk to you about Medicare. Medicare, it's confusing. That's done on purpose, right? You go online, what do you find? More confusion. You know, a lot of people, they try to go it alone, or they deal with someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about, and what happens? It ends up costing them thousands of dollars sometimes each year. And also, they find out maybe their doctors or the medications, they might not be covered either. That's where Chapter comes in. You know, Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that compares all of the over 24,000 plans out there for you. They'll find the one that's right for you and your budget. And no matter where you are in the United States, Chapter can help. You're going to get answers, you're going to get them fast, and you're going to get them for free. So whether you're on Medicare right now or turning 65 soon, give Chapter a call, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the episode. You're going to talk to a real person. They're going to walk you through everything step by step, no gimmicks, just real help. Because the right plan, it can save you thousands. Again, the number 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Get your Medicare questions answered free. 805-754-3033. Your health and your wallet will thank you. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. This is our bottom of the hour break for the radio station. What's next? Done those two. This one's next. Okay. Thank you. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account savings and a house and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular
Can you
bill,
articulate a thought? That's a good question. Can you? Are you capable?
2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything. And I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over much easier for them, and it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Hear ye, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing. Floridians, take note, Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida have allocated $280 million for the 25
We'll be back shortly, guys.
fiscal year to fund new grants under My Safe Florida Home Program. This grant is up to $10,000 when you spend $15,000 or more on your project. This may include roofing and wind mitigation systems. Go online at mysafefloridahome.com and get approved before the money is gone. If you need help, please call me, Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602, or find us at laportaroofing.com. It's simple. When you spend $1, the state matches $2 up to $10,000. They send you a check. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is. So again, call us at 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy?
Last commercial.
I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
Oh, wow, they updated the rejoins to the 49 years. That's awesome. Oh, boy, I can't believe 49 years. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, we are back. You know, the Democrats are in big trouble. You know, and I'm going to throw this out to you guys, okay? I'm going to throw this out to you guys. What do the Democrats stand for today? Can you think of one bit of a platform? Like, vote for us, we're going to do this for you. And I'm talking about now in 2025. And this cannot involve anything with Trump, something that they themselves are offering. Can anyone think of anything? They represent nothing. And there's a lot of stories I'm going to go through today. You're welcome to call in about the Giuliani story throughout the program and anything that I bring up. But this story here, I referenced this a little while ago. This is just so typical. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Congressman Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna to hold a press conference with 10 Epstein victims on Wednesday amid House push to declassify the Epstein files. Massie and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene previously joined forces with Ro Khanna on a discharge position aimed at compelling a full House vote on releasing classified Epstein files. Khanna said 12 Democrats and 12 Republicans have signed off on the petition. That way they can call it bipartisan. House Speaker Mike Johnson, he adjourned the House early, and lawmakers fled D.C. for the entire month of August after reported tensions over this petition. Speaker Johnson later blasted Massie for not bringing the petition to the floor during the Biden years and now clamoring about it. Massie had previously demanded the release of the Epstein client list, but did not act like he is now. Still, it is unclear if it would have had the support necessary to pass when Biden was president, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This is all BS, okay? This is all BS. This deep state, anytime you see Epstein trending on X or some congressman like Massie showboating about it, they love it when they can get a Republican to showboat about it. That's the deep state at work. All right? And what all these 10 Epstein victims that they say they're going to have at this press conference, I would not be surprised if, and in fact, you should expect one of them to make some false, slanderous claim about our favorite president, Donald Trump. Right? It wouldn't shock me at all. I might be shocked if they didn't, because they're in trouble. They're in big trouble, the Democrats. They're losing everything everywhere. And if you look at the entire deep state lawfare, everything against President Trump, from the time he came down the escalator to now, with the exceptions of when they shot him in Butler and tried to do it again at the golf course, everything else they've done is to try to turn us against him. And these conservative influencers at Turning Point, I don't know how, has it been 2 months? I don't know, a few weeks back, a couple months back, however long ago it was, in Tampa, right, with Charlie Kirk and the rest, they were freaking out over the Epstein files. Remember this? So these never-Trumpers in the deep state who are getting their houses and offices searched by federal agents, and there's grand juries up in Fort Pierce at the federal courthouse into the coup conspirators that Obama put together. They're in a panic. And so what are they trying to do? They're trying to they know that a lot of conservatives get really triggered by Epstein. It's almost an obsession with some people. So everything that they do is to try to turn us against the president. If you remember, the example I always use is this. When they knew he was going to run for re-election for this most recent time, next thing you know, they're arresting him in New York. And remember, he was here at Mar-a-Lago. He had to go and surrender. And they thought, oh, if we, hey, these MAGA people, they're all about law and order. If we get him arrested, they'll drop Trump. They'll be behind Nikki Haley and DeSantis. They'll drop Trump. So we got arrested. Nothing happened. Well, we didn't get a mugshot. Well, maybe it's not. So they got him they broke into his house. They did it in federal court again. They arrested him again. Oh, there's no mugshot. Okay, his numbers just went up. But if we get a mugshot, then it'll be real to them. Once the MAGA supporters see a mugshot of President Trump, then they'll turn against him. So they come up with this BS in Fulton County, Georgia. They get the mugshot President Trump posed for, took a great picture of, and his support got even stronger. Everything, if you can go through the whole history of their attacks on Trump, so much of it is pulling some stunt that they think is going to turn Trump's base support against him. It only makes him stronger. And this Epstein story is an example of that. Anytime they're up against it, Epstein, they got the grand juries, they got the warrants, and things are happening. And, there could be a whole list of sealed indictments from the Pam Bondi grand juries already. It would not surprise me. In Fort Pierce, which is where we know she has a grand jury because it's leaked out. Oh, boy. So anyway, that's what they are. And by the way, Massey, you look like a slob. All right, iron your shirt and trim your beard, okay? Give me a break. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, there we go. See, yes, I know. With the see, I told you, Jeremy. Check the delay anytime before the show starts. Oh my goodness. See what I mean? You mention Epstein, and then boom, the crazies come out. Well, it's not going to work. Your deep state plots and tactics are not going to work. All right, our number is 888-465-2631. There's a couple other things I want to mention in this segment, and then after the next break, there's a big story that no one will cover, but I'm going to cover it here. And if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls in a bit. Have you seen these stories about the pride flags in the streets that are being removed all over the place? It's happening a lot in Florida. There's a big issue in... Where? Let me see. Let me see which. I don't want to get the city wrong. Hold on. Let me look real quick. One of the Palm Beach towns is in I'm pretty sure I know which one, but I don't want to say the wrong one. Let's see. Delray Beach. Okay, yeah, Delray Beach. Delray Beach is the latest. They have a big pride mural in the street, and the rainbow flag. And this is happening all over the country. Delray Beach, Florida, and this is also happening in Orlando, in Fort Lauderdale, all over the state of Florida. The state of Florida is telling these cities you cannot have pride murals in your streets. Some of them, the state has just gone and removed them. In other instances, the cities have removed them. But there's some cities that are refusing to remove them. And then where is the other one? There was another one. I tell you, I've got so many stories to cover. Okay, yeah, here's another one. This is, let's see where this is. This is in St. Petersburg, Florida. In the street, they have a Black Lives Matter mural in the street. Listen to this. This is in the Daily Mail. In fact, I looked at let me take our break on time, and then I'll come back and tell you about what's going on in St. Pete. I want to talk to you about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. Let me tell you, I don't know what my life would be like if I had not met Dr. Appleton 3 years ago. I know what I'd be like. I'd either be a junkie on a bunch of pain medications, or I'd be suffering in pain all the time. He's rid me of pain 7 times. In fact, all of the 7 times that he's rid me of pain, the pains have not returned. It's amazing. Some of it is from injuries, a bunch of falls off my longboard skateboard, which I have finally retired. I never fell off my skateboard, really, except that one time I was live streaming online when I was skating down the street. Big mistake. But other than that, I went like my whole life without falling off a skateboard. And then I realized when you get to be my age, you probably look like an idiot on this. I probably look stupid on a skateboard at my age, but I like doing it. I got the longboard. They go pretty fast. It's a lot of fun. But I started falling all the time. And when I would fall, I would always hurt my shoulders. Dr. Appleton treated me for my falls with my shoulder injuries. The pain's gone, hasn't returned. Sometimes it's just been from aging. I had the arthritis pain in my hand, which was god-awful bad. Boom, rid me of the arthritis pain. It's amazing. His laser treatment works. And if you've been in a car accident and you have pains related to a car accident, go see Dr. Appleton. In fact, I realized that the first time he rid me of pain in my right knee was from a car accident I was in over 30 years ago. And the pains, they have not returned. Give Dr. Appleton a call, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back.
Cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are. And he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
I'm fine, gentlemen. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him. And we brought all our everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money...
Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are new, this is our last break of the first hour.
Really a signing bonus where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online at JupiterJoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. He told me he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
We take on the social justice warrior for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, so this street political activism going on across the state of Florida. And this is in the national news. Florida is a very red MAGA state. However, we have pockets of liberal lunatics. Fort Lauderdale and Broward County. A big chunk of Palm Beach County. Tampa, St. Pete. Okay. And the Orlando area and Jacksonville. And these cities are filled with gay pride murals on the street. Some of them, they're at every corner of the intersection. And there's also some Black Lives Matter ones. And the state of Florida is ordering the removal of all of them. And if the city doesn't do it, the state goes in and does it and then bills the city. And there was an arrest yesterday. This is in the Daily Mail. 2 pastors were arrested after dropping to their knees to pray over a Black History Matters mural. The 2 ministers were filmed kneeling on the colorful artwork in St. Petersburg, Florida, at about 8 p.m. on Friday. The duo were protesting the Florida Department of Transportation, who would send workers to paint the mural over. Governor Ron DeSantis had issued an order to remove all non-standard road art, and when the 2 pastors heard the 2023 creation outside of the Woodson African American Museum would be destroyed, means painted over on the street, they wanted to visit. The pair were ordered by St. Petersburg police to move out of the way so workers could begin painting over it, but they refused. Now in Tampa, if you remember, during the lockdowns, the local sheriff in Hillsborough County arrested a pastor for having church services. Remember that? So much for freedom of religion in Hillsborough County. They were arrested on each one with a misdemeanor charge. By the way, these are white pastors, white liberals, with all their white liberal guilt. They both posted $500 bond. They were in jail in Pinellas County. St. Pete, I guess, is in Pinellas. They told Fox News they felt compelled to do something and just couldn't stand on the sidelines. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. All this stuff that's in the streets, right? The gay pride stuff. In Fort Lauderdale, I saw the local news here throughout Florida have been covering this a lot. And I saw one of the local stations in Broward, I think it was PLG, which has gone independent away from the network. They were covering this. And they have 4 or 5 pride murals painted on different streets in Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is run by gay activists, has been for years. And this BLM, Black Lives Matter, Black History Matter stuff. You know, why do you think they do that? Why do they have? I know why. I'm going to tell you, but why do you? Before I tell you why, and I'm not going to troll for calls on this. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get the calls in a bit. I mean, you know, I hate when people do shows and they throw out these questions to the, you know, and then have people call in and they, you know, it's you know what I call that? That's killing time by no talents that have nothing to say. But why do you think they put these rainbow flags and BLM and Black History Matter stuff and Black Lives Matter stuff all over the streets? Why do you think they do that? Well, they do it for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is they want to live in a state of victimhood. And, you know, today, we'll first start with the gays. Being gay is no big deal now. You know, if you want to be controversial and you're looking for publicity, like say you're an actor or an athlete and you're looking for publicity, don't come out of the closet as gay. That's not even a news story anymore. Come out of the closet as straight. That'll shock the hell out of people. You'll get all kinds of coverage. Why is he straight? Came out of the closet as straight. I know it's a joke, but it's true. Being gay, it's no big deal anymore. Now, I remember when it was a big deal and people were in the closet. You know, working in radio my whole life, I've known more gay people than the normal straight guy. Steve Kane, too. Okay? It's just the way it is because radio is, you know, part of the arts, and the arts attract gays. You know, and that's okay. But I've known, but they were in the closet for the most part. There were some that were out of the closet. You know, and they want to, and a lot of times people that are in victim groups don't like the idea that nobody cares anymore. They want to be victims still. So they want to have all their Stonewall and rainbow stuff around so they can feel like people hate them. And when people want to paint over the art on the street, which can be kind of confusing when you're driving around, you know, when you're, especially in tourist towns, when you're trying to look where you're going. I go down to Fort Lauderdale Beach. It annoys me because all the tourists are driving around. They don't know where they're going. And you got all this artwork, this liberal activist gay artwork on the street. It's confusing to people. Same thing with the Black Lives Matter and the Black History Matters. That's all around so that they can feel like they're discriminated against when the opposite is true. And then, you know, the gay activist and the black activist, even though these guys in Tampa that got arrested were white, the gay activist and the black activist, they love it when they want to paint over this street art because then it makes them, oh, look, they're homophobe, they're racist, they're covering it up, they can't do, you know. You know, another thing, too, is this, you know, the gays that run Fort Lauderdale that have gay pride stuff and 5 different intersections, they have gay pride crosswalks, it's in the street. I mean, enough, right? They want it to be a gay tourist mecca as opposed to a family tourist mecca or just a tourist mecca in general. But the main thing is they want to feel like victims all the time. And they're not. Nobody cares that you're gay anymore. Nobody cares about that. It's not even a big deal. Nobody even thinks about people being gay anymore. Used to be different, but it's not that way anymore. And so far as all this Black Lives and Black History Matters stuff, we're in a post-racial society that the liberals are constantly trying to bring us back into. You know, and why are the Black Lives Matter and the gays allowed to have their political stuff in there, but nobody else is? What would happen if I painted in the middle of the street, you know, Jesus is Lord? Oh my goodness, they'd have freakouts. I remember when the Broward County Commission, they shut down, you know that great, what's that park on Sample Road where they have the, you drive through and they have all the Christmas stuff every year that was a tradition for years and years, decades now in Broward County. Is it Tradewinds? What is it Tradewinds Park? The one on Sample Road where they do the Christmas thing. The liberal Democrats on the Broward County Commission years ago shut it down. Oh, violation of church and state. Christmas is Christian, can't do it. Now, they had to reverse that because the outcry was just insane, beyond what they projected, and they caved, and it's been back for many years. Why can't I have on an intersection MAGA? Oh, that's political. What, gay pride flags aren't political? BLM isn't political? Of course, okay? Go paint an Israeli flag that you support Israel in these liberal areas where they got their pride flags and BLM murals all over the street. See how long that lasts, or if you can even get it done. Right? They only want to have their liberal crap on the streets. And it's gone. You know, it's so bad. I just wish that DeSantis wouldn't have lied to us about running against President Trump and doing all that, because he does so many great things like this. Boy, oh boy. All right. Oh, who do I got to talk about here? I got so much to do here. I'm losing track of what I... Oh, Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, another thing with rainy season, it's not just Tom Laporta with a leaky roof. You want to have good tread on your tires. And before I found Friendly Tire in Margate, I was driving around all the time on tires I probably should not have been. But you can get new tires out the door and on the road, new tires, brand new tires, for as low as $75 a tire at Friendly Tire in Margate. And I say out the door and on the road because Friendly Mike doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. Give them a call. We have listeners that drive so far each way just to get their tires at Friendly Tire. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. He also does tire repairs and has thousands of good used tires in stock too. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right, let me take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg. How you been?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
All right. Listen, there's a couple items to address. One, you at the beginning of your show, let me ask this question. Do you really think after the Hunter laptop, which was, 5 years ago, that they decide they're going to put a hit on Rudy Giuliani and fake some damsel in distress?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Rudy Giuliani afford a security team? I thought he's bankrupt.
What? I don't know.
Well, that's a valid question.
Maybe, but more, the valid question is, why does he need a security detail driving through New Hampshire?
I haven't.
Now think about that. Why do you think he's just driving on the streets of New Hampshire? Why does he need a security detail?
Why would his...
Wait, were you asking questions? I mean, I asked you a question. Why do you think he has one?
That's a good question.
Well, maybe because they're trying to kill him.
And you know what? The plot is, let's have a girl on the side of the street wave. His security team, by the way, that's not very good, says, oh, let's pull over.
Yeah, because in the Borat sequel, Sacha Baron Cohen got a honeypot to get Giuliani up into a hotel room, remember? And he was undoing his clothes to fix the mic on the bed in the hotel room. It was in the movie, the Borat sequel.
You're saying Borat was the inspiration for this plot?
Well, it shows you, yeah.
You wonder why you can't get, like, on a bigger, like, national. You can play.
I have, what are you talking about? Big? How much bigger do you want? I've got millions of people every month. You know, I was talking last week, my podcast has so many millions of listeners each month. I have more listeners to my podcast than 98.5% of all other podcasts in the world, but it's never going to be big enough for you. But no, he has. But getting back to this, no. Hold on. This isn't about me, Giuliani. Okay, we know that he has a problem. Don't tell me what to do. You know, Giuliani has a problem with the ladies. We know this. He has a problem with the ladies. He's on What Wife? You know, the honeypot from Sacha Baron Cohen in the Borat sequel. And then he's got a damsel in distress on the side of the road. He's got a security detail, which shows you that there's some concern for his safety. Come on, Greg. You know I'm right. You just can't let your Trump delusion and your hatred of me blind your thoughts.
I have no hatred. But listen, let's go to one other topic. You are comparing, and I won't say the city, because we both live in the same city. You're comparing urban, big-time cities that should be safe as the city we live in, which is, by the way, one of the richest cities in America, with the best school systems, unemployment rate probably less than 1%. You're trying to say Chicago, New York, LA, that has gangs rampant and education is the worst in our country, to the city we live in.
Okay, now this is interesting. So now we know Greg watches my YouTube channel and watches my weekend live show. Oh no, I know you do. Okay, so on the weekends, you guys know I'm always on you. I'm on YouTube probably like 12 hours a day, right? I am. What are you talking about? What, I can't promote myself? I'm not avoiding the topic. I'm putting in context what I was talking about, listen, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a little while. So, you know, I'm on YouTube like 12 hours a day. You guys know this. And on the weekends, I do live streams early in the morning, and on Saturday and Sunday, I go to Starbucks. They open at 5 a.m. And I'm doing a live stream, which obviously Greg was watching, even though he'll probably deny it. I know, you just know what I was talking about on the thing you didn't watch. Oh, my YouTube just pulled up. Does that happen to you, Jeremy? Just videos just pull up of random people that you know? Come on. Okay, so you're not going to get me off of this, Greg. I'm going to get the thought out without your constant interjection, okay? Injecting yourself. So I'm live streaming at 5 a.m. Saturday morning out on the street in front of Starbucks. There's no other customers. In fact, they told me at the Starbucks, you're the only one that comes in here every morning at 5 a.m. The whole first hour we're open and nobody's in here but you. I'm out there. I'm outside on the street live streaming in my MAGA hat. I've got my equipment that I'm live streaming with, so I've got some valuable stuff. I've got an expensive microphone in my hand. And I'm saying that I'm out here without any fear because I live in pretty much a crime-free area, right? And everyone in America, no matter where they are, should be able to live in safety like I do in my town. And you said, and then Mr. Greg here calls up, and you're comparing it to Chicago. So what do you mean? You know, the blacks and Hispanics in Chicago can't control themselves, Greg? What are you saying?
No, listen. First of all, the gangs control a lot of these urban areas. The violence, the lack of education, the lack of family structure is a contributing factor. You know how hard it is to control millions of people? The city we're talking about.
Oh, so you're saying that the blacks and Hispanics of Chicago are uncontrollable? Yeah. We're talking about Chicago. It's a majority minority city.
Let me finish.
Oh, he's in a panic now. He's in a panic.
No, you're going rambling. First of all, you brought up race, not I. Number two, you're talking about urban areas that have jam-packed people that are under the poverty level. They don't have education.
Oh my, it's getting worse. Blacks and Hispanics are out of control. Poor people, they can't control themselves. They're violent and criminal. You have a lot of negative stereotypes of poor black people.
Poverty contributes to criminal activity, don't you agree?
No, the number one cause of crime in America today is what? Number one cause.
Let's hear it. Go ahead, let's hear it.
On that live stream you were watching in front of Starbucks, I said it. You know, you just don't want to say because you don't want to admit you were watching me at 5 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday morning, out on the streets. Okay, the number one, you know the answer, but I'll go along with your story. You know, the number one cause of violent crime in America today is not poverty; it's Democrats.
That is so far off base. You think Democrats are bigger contributing to crime?
They're the number one. Yeah, they're the number one cause of crime.
By the way, in the cities, who's electing these Democrats?
Democrat idiots. You know, and the reason that and I'll explain. The reason Democrats. No, excuse me. The reason Democrats are the number one. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, that's correct. The reason I say Democrats are the number one cause of crime is they're defund the police, they're no cash bail. You know, there was a guy arrested in D.C. last week. It was like, he's like, why are you arresting me? I've already been arrested 4 times. They just let me out. Why are you wasting your time? Well, he's locked up now. You know, Democrats are not keeping the bad guys in jail, and they're enabling criminals to go out and commit violent crimes. Democrats are the number one cause of crime in this country.
No, you know what? They're a contributing factor, no doubt about their leniency on crime. But you can never admit when you are possibly wrong. You're always right, Brian. 100%. You never said, oh, wait, let me rethink my position. You've never done that. And
I do it all the time.
Louisiana, Mike from Louisiana, and you did show up for calls. You threw out this crazy, like that whole thing where, you know, you come out with these crazy conspiratorial things.
Let me ask you this. Do you have ADHD because you have a hard time completing sentences and you go from one topic to the next? Appreciate the call, Greg. I mean, have you noticed that? He's all over the place. He's incoherent. Some may think even hysterical. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, man, Greg, too. I love the way you handled him today, Brian. That was wonderful.
Yes, you know, I love how he outed himself. He's watching me at 5 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings out in the streets of South Florida. That's okay. You know, a lot of people there were 50,000 people watching me doing that. You were one of 50,000. It's not like there's anything wrong, but this is the thing in this business. Everyone tells you that they never listen. It's just an accident. They happen to be listening at that point, and then they start to tell you all these things about you that they would only know if they were listening.
No, I honestly wish you would have got the midday slot on Russia's program, dude. I wish you would have. And I at first, when I first started listening to you, I did not really like you as much as I like you now. But I'm loving it lately, brother. But
just lately?
Yeah. No, I mean it's been good. It's been really good.
Well, you know, my wife was a listener, right? Before we met, right? She came to a personal appearance to meet me, and she was like you. She hated me. She hated me for a long time listening to me, but then she learned to, obviously love me, hopefully.
I agree that it's kind of like a brash way to deal with people, but it's the way you have to deal with them. They'll never understand, But as far as everything with the crime in Chicago and everything about these Democrats, these huge cities that they've been able to kind of monopolize in for so long. I mean, I look at Broward County versus Palm Beach County. Palm Beach County has a rule in place that you can't panhandle. You get what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know. I hate going to, when I go to Broward. I go to Broward a lot because my mom lives in Broward, my daughter lives in Broward, so I go to Broward. Every time I go there, it's like homeless central. We kicked them out of the street corners of Palm Beach, so they went south to Broward.
Right, and that's what I mean. It's like you can see the difference of people that actually care about their city, and they'll do the right things in order to make it to where it's accommodable for everybody, that it's safe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
roving around here in Broward County. But in Palm Beach, the cops, they keep track of who's on the roads a little bit better because they don't have to deal
Well, you know, what happened, I talked about this on the show a couple weeks back. My daughter flew out to LA on Saturday morning, first flight out, and I dropped her off at the airport at like 4:30 in the morning. So I said, you know what? I always live stream on the weekends around 5 a.m. or so on Saturdays and on YouTube. So I said, you know what? I'm going to live stream down at Fort Lauderdale Beach and watch the sunrise on the live stream. I parked where I've parked since high school is that beach parking lot across from Bahia Mar. I park my car. I get and I get out of the car. I start walking towards the beach. I'm going to walk up to Las Olas and A1A and live stream it. I got about 30 feet and I came back to the car and left. It's like Night of the Living Dead down there. There are so many homeless people, and this is the tourist zone. There's so many homeless people there. I thought, what am I doing? This is stupid. I'm going to set up and live stream with my mic and my camera and all this stuff. I'm asking to be jacked. What am I, an idiot? And I left. You know, and I can do that in Palm Beach, though.
Right. Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. The only time the homeless people matter to the Democrats is when it's the time to vote. That's the only time. They're going super much for a week, and they'll get them to vote, and then they'll pick them up.
See, here's the thing. Here's what Donald Trump believes, and this is what I believe. No matter where you are, Chicago, D.C., L.A., Baltimore, you should be able to walk the streets at 1 a.m., 5 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., any time of day or night without fear of being killed, robbed, mugged, pistol whipped, raped.
That's why I live in Wellington, and I work 2 jobs to do it, Brian. I work 2 jobs to do it. So don't think I'm some kind of hippie, rich.
Yeah.
I've been working my whole millennial life off to try to get to the point where I don't have to worry about my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing I will say, and this will give you a tell how long I've been listening. Greg, too, used to try to pawn himself off as a Trumper.
Mm-hmm.
Always be a Democrat. He defends them on every corner like he's a lawyer for the DNC.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, it's good to. By the way, how long ago did you stop hating me? You said you didn't like me for a long time. How long ago was this when you started thinking I'm all right?
I mean, I've been listening for like 10 years, so I had to like you a little bit. But I kind of like the way that you and Steve would like kind of argue back then.
Yeah.
I listened to the show then, but I was always on Steve's side. But now I'm on Brian's side.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Appreciate the call, man. Take care. Take care. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break. And who am I going to talk about here? Oh! Let me talk about, let me see, what are the, can you show me the spots in this break? Because I don't want to do one that's in the thing. Let me see. Okay, yeah, perfect. I'm gonna talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. Have you heard this ad we've been running? It's a recorded ad with Bruce, a longtime listener, Bruce, how he got that signing bonus with Joe Thomas. You know, there are annuities, you get a bonus, 10%, one's even more. When you get the annuity on your money. And before you get to your car, leaving Joe's office, you've already made 10% on your money. One of them even more. I know what the percentage is, but I don't want to say because I'm not 100. I might be off by 1 or 2, and I don't want you to quote me. But Joe Thomas will tell you. You got to give him a call. Talk to him about annuities. I don't know why everyone's not doing this. You know, I don't know why everyone's not doing this. Because your money is safe. Your nest egg's safe. Whatever happens in the market, your money's never at risk, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. Boom. You got that income coming in every month if you want it. Every month. Me, I like it every month. But you have it coming in every month and boom, it's there. And your nest egg is there too. Never at risk. Give Joe Thomas a call. He offers no charge consultations, which if you're here local and you want to do it in person, you absolutely can do that. But no matter where you're located, you can have a free consultation with Jupiter Joe Thomas over the phone as well. Okay, it doesn't have to be it can be in person, it can be on the phone. 561-743-0999. Joe's going to put together a custom proposal just for you on your situation, your goals, your needs. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 800-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio, reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch. It's bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular loan, things would get tied up and closings and everything weird. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind.
If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
And they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie and Iowa advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice, and every call. Open enrollment is coming up really soon. Some plans are being canceled. Others pulling out of the Medicare market at the end of 2025. Call Debbie. She represents all the major national companies. The number 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. Tell her Steve Kane sent you.
Gold, silver, copper stocks are about to take off. Catch them now while they're cheap compared. There's real potential opportunity in the markets. Now, listen to the Owens Market Report and Money Talk Radio weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on your True Oldies channel.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I just got a text message during the break from Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. By the way, from the same cell phone number I give out during the commercial, by the way. You know, you've heard that commercial we're running with that My Safe Florida program. Tom was calling me and saying we're going to have to pull that commercial soon. They're going to run out of money. The state of Florida and that program will be running out of money soon. So, you know, it's September. The end of the year is almost here. So call Tom Laporta before that My Safe Florida program runs out of money. Call or text. This is his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. All right, to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Chris from Minnesota.
Okay.
Are you guys Christians by any chance?
By chance, yes, I am a Christian.
And you support Trump?
Yes.
How is that possible?
I don't understand the conflict. Explain it to me. Watch, he's going to mention Epstein now. Watch. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Christian, you're being deceitful in your call. If you're the standard for being a Christian, why are you being deceitful? And just say what you want to say instead of trying to trick someone. It's deceit. I'm talking about you. Hey, appreciate the call. What an idiot. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee. How's it going?
I just like calling the White Power Hour and give you guys a shout out. I want you to know Jesse Lee Peterson is going to be more popular than you, and that should probably ruin your day because he's.
Oh, what'd you do? You called Jesse Lee Peterson?
No, I listened to his show, and the fact that he kowtows to Republicans, and he really, he kisses up more than you do. The fact that he is more overtly a racist.
Wait, Jesse Lee Peterson is a racist? Jesse Lee Peterson is black.
No,
so
wasn't popular.
So he's racist against, who's he racist against?
His own people.
Black, how can a black man be racist against black people?
Ask him that.
So that means he'd be racist against himself? You know, Renee, I got news for you. Not everyone who disagrees with you is a racist. You know that, right?
It's not a surprise.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I had this conversation with you a couple weeks ago. You have, out of all the callers that we have that are like kind of like, because you're kind of semi-regular, you have the smallest vocabulary of any caller I've ever dealt with. All you know how to say is you're a racist in a few different ways. You have a very limited vocabulary.
Okay, well, the fact of the matter is...
You maybe need to get like that word-a-day calendar or something, and you know, your vocabulary is tiny. All you can say is you're a racist in about 5 or 6 different ways.
But you know who's really exemplary stupid?
Okay, all right, appreciate that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
George Brinson.
George, go ahead.
Hey, how are you?
All right.
Stay down. So I was listening to another caller, and he was going on about how he works hard, 2 jobs to, for his family, and you and him were going back and forth about how when you walk outside, the poor people is really a problem. I'm not really hearing a lot of solutions other than round them up and put them in jail. And
oh, well, then you don't, okay, there is a, you may have missed this. President Trump, all right, finish your sentence and I'll give you the solution.
Okay, all right. So I've been home 3 times in my life, in different parts of my life, right? And every time the homeless situation comes up, I hear all these people saying they don't want to work, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, completely ignoring the intricacies of why people are homeless in the first place. You go out there, campaign slogans and all this stuff, but I'm not really seeing any.
Okay, all right. I'll give you the solution. Now, you are an exception to the rule of people that have been homeless, but most people that are homeless because they choose to be homeless or they're mentally ill.
Previous homeless person, what most of them are, and I lived around them, and I know that.
I grew up in the city of Fort Lauderdale, which is ground zero for homelessness in America, okay?
But again, I was homeless 3 times in 2 different states.
Okay, I said you sound like the exception to the rule. You are not the average homeless person.
And that's what I'm telling you. When you get into your mind that they are other, that, these homeless people are homeless for a choice or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You pigeonhole a lot of them.
No, okay, slow down. You are, slow down. You're an exception to, I know you don't want to hear this. You're an exception. Most homeless people are either they're mentally ill or they have a record or they're criminals or they're an addict. And a lot of them, they're homeless because of their mental illness by choice, or they've alienated their entire family and they end up on the streets. You're an exception. President Trump is offering a very good solution this week. President Trump suggested yesterday of reopening the insane asylums that we used to have in this country prior to the Reagan era. And you take a lot of these mentally ill people and you put them in the insane asylums. Yeah.
So would you consider extreme religious and mental illness?
That's too vague of a question for me to even answer. I don't know what you're just trying to say.
Because a lot of the people that you're calling mentally ill or all these problems have a very strong connection to a God. So I'm saying that, hey, you want to
And he wants to open up these insane asylums and just throw people in them, lobotomize them, like put them away instead of dealing with why they are the way that they are. Which insane asylums got rid of them.
Why do you think I've never been homeless?
I don't know. I wouldn't presume to know your story.
I know. His story, your story, all this stuff. You're the exception to the rule. But most people on the street are either criminals, okay, mentally ill, or choose to be there.
Unless you are a God, like I said, well, then that's the thing you just said to the other guy. Hey, all people that are...
I didn't say all, I said most. I didn't say all, I said most.
No, you said all people that don't agree with you aren't racist. But now you're throwing this huge net over all these people.
Yes.
How did it over his head? So the thing is, I'm a black man, I'm an atheist, and I was homeless.
You're an atheist? You're an atheist? Oh my goodness. That's too bad. No, I don't like atheists. No, I do not like atheists. Atheism is the devil. Atheism is the devil.
Hey, buddy, I understand. I get it. But, I respect everybody's beliefs. And, you do what you want to do as long as...
In fact, even I'll say this. Being an atheist is worse than Satan. And I'll tell you why. This is not an original thought of mine. Many wise people have said this. The reason that atheism, I say, is worse than Satan is because at least Satan believes in God.
Get this into a situation as to why I believe it or I don't.
So what's the point? Then what's the point? When you're dead, what happens?
The point is that I've had my children or I've taught others how to carry this thing on.
You've raised children to be atheist? Oh my goodness.
I want children to believe, to make their own decisions. I don't push my beliefs on anyone.
Well, that's not being a parent. That's not being, you have children?
Again.
Being a parent is instilling your belief system on your children. Absolutely. What kind of parent are you?
I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone.
Yeah, well, if that's how you parent like an idiot. I'm sorry. How are you being a parent if you're not instilling your values on your child?
I'm teaching them my values, but they're going to have can release agree that as your children grow up, they're going to develop their own sense of value.
Well, hopefully they've developed a system that's different than yours. Listen, I got to run for a break, but take care. Oh my goodness, wow. Parenting is instilling your values on your children, not just teaching them your values, raising them with your values, so that because we all believe that our values are the moral way to live life. So you want your children to grow up and live a life like you do, with the same value system. I've never heard of a parent who says, I don't push my values on my children. That's not parenting, man. We'll be right back. Good calls today, I must say. We've had some good calls today. If you're on hold, stand by. If you're a Medicare recipient or about to turn 65, listen up. I want to talk to you about Medicare. Medicare, it's confusing. That's done on purpose, right? You go online, what do you find? More confusion. A lot of people, they try to go it alone, or they deal with someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about, and what happens? It ends up costing them thousands of dollars sometimes each year. And also, they find out maybe their doctors or the medications, they might not be covered either. That's where Chapter comes in. Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that compares all of the over 24,000 plans out there for you. They'll find the one that's right for you and your budget. And no matter where you are in the United States, Chapter can help. You're going to get answers, you're going to get them fast, and you're going to get them for free. So whether you're on Medicare right now or turning 65 soon, give Chapter a call, 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the episode. You're going to talk to a real person. They're going to walk you through everything step by step. No gimmicks, just real help. Because the right plan, it can save you thousands. Again, the number 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Get your Medicare questions answered free. 805-754-3033. Your health and your wallet will thank you. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. If you're on hold, stand by, and if you're new, make sure that you subscribe to the channel.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at MyPillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, headbeds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, Janice here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to JupiterJoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Marty and Craig, celebrating 49 years on the...
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, Richie.
It's amazing, Brian. The last hour was Hate the Brian Craig Show and Hate Brian. And it starts with Greg, and it goes down the list with the kooks that call up and start giggling over the phone when they're trying to make a statement to you. They don't make any sense. I'm going to say a couple things. You brought up the mural in the streets. Personally, I'm against any kind of graffiti. I think it's defacing property, and I don't need it in my face about somebody's sexuality while I'm driving an automobile. I think it's disgusting. I think it's wrong, and I don't think it should be there. Whether it be gay, straight, doesn't matter to me. Black Lives Matter, it does not belong there. Political statements don't belong on public streets because we're all in one big basket, and you don't divide people by putting this crap out there. That's the first thing I want to say. As for Greg with this crime, he does watch you probably, but the fact of the matter is, Greg, the Democrats are running these cities into the ground, and their school systems are very liberal. They don't teach anybody, and they want to keep black people in poverty. As for Renee in Harlem, which is the big one with the Jesse Lee Peterson, and I know Renee's still listening, and he wouldn't be able to come back to this. There's a cruise line out there. It's been all over the internet. It's been they call it the ghetto cruise, and the people that are complaining about it, a lot of them are black. So the bottom line is, are those black people Uncle Tom's and racists? Because
You know the thing about, I'm very surprised. You're talking about the carnival thing, yeah, and it's I am, because I don't want people to think it's the one we do our cruises on. That's all under, but the thing about this thing with carnival is they passed a bunch of rules on board that are targeting the black party goers, right? No twerking, all kinds of stuff. I am shocked there has not been like a class action lawsuit against them yet. And the reason there hasn't been is they can't even find some low-life, high-profile, fake civil rights attorney who will come out and challenge those allegations that are being made about those cruises. It's pretty bad.
Those ships, yeah, it's that I was on one. My brother-in-law, it was hairy. We got on an elevator real quick, and he stepped on a lady's foot by mistake, and he was sorry, and boy, she jumped on him and started screaming at him.
Really?
See, I don't like bullying of anybody, and I don't personally. And I think, like I said, I disagree with you a lot of times, but I love your show, and I like the controversy. As for this atheist that called you up, I mean, if you don't have any kind of values at all, I mean, I don't hate atheists, but if you take a look throughout history, atheists, they don't have to answer to anybody, so they don't value life to say.
That's correct. That's right.
I mean, the values.
There's no accountability, you know, and that's one of the reasons he probably was homeless, is because he doesn't want to be accountable to anyone.
That's another thing. You talk about. I've never been homeless, Brian, but you know my bus situation.
Oh yes.
They threw me a party. The homeless threw me a party my last day. They said, bring your wife. My wife came on the bus. They decorated the bus.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
You did. They went to Publix. They bought me a cake. They had soda on the bus because they said no.
And you ate it? You ate it?
No, they actually came on the bus with a Publix cake.
I would not have eaten. Did you eat any of that cake?
Absolutely.
You're out of your mind.
No, it was brand new. Brian, it came from Publix. It was new.
No, but a homeless person had to bring it from Publix.
Oh, I got it. But let me say something. I used to wake them up on Dania Beach in the morning because they didn't want to get arrested. I used to wake them up at the train stations, and they rode my bus in the cold. I didn't charge them. I basically put a couple pennies in the meter because I felt bad that they were out in the cold weather. But the fact is, you're right. Most of them, they drank cooking wine, man. I mean, that's how.
Oh yeah, food coloring, and they used to drink food coloring, all kinds of stuff.
Got over on Christians because they used to say, "Where are you going to eat today?" "Oh, I'm going to Pompano to the church." They knew exactly where the food was. They knew when it was going to be there, and then by eating that food, they were able to supply the habit with their drug or their alcohol. So, I mean, I lived it with them. I felt, you know, I could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so these people that call up and say, well, homeless is not a good thing. They got the signs, we'll work for food. Matter of fact, the lady, I told you before, the lady on one of your shows with no teeth, when Steve Kane was.
Oh, yes.
University, yeah, her name was Betty.
Mm.
And she lived in a chicken coop off of State Road 8.
Yes. Yes.
And she had that sign, we'll work for food.
No, we did years ago, before there was a YouTube thing, Steve and I did a cable access TV show back in the day. I don't even know if cable access exists. And we used to do crazy things. We did this one show on the homeless, which is one of my favorites, and it was one of the first shows we did. And her name was Patty. At least that's what she told us on the thing. And she used to stand on University Drive and 595 for years. So much so, she was like a landmark. Yeah, she was like a landmark. And she had no teeth. And she had this sign that said, you know, homeless, hungry, young kids at home. First question Steve asked her was about her kids. And she says, what kids? I don't have any kids. He said, the ones on your sign. Well, I had the dump. I had to dump Richie for the first time. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Richie. Do you guys hear that? Richie, you... Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. Stand by. Richie used one of the words. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. I still have all those cable access shows. It's so long ago, I have them on VHS tape. They were never transferred to anything else. VHS tape. That's right. Oh, but those were good shows. Steve's favorite's the body piercing show, but you know, with the girl. But I thought the homeless show was some of our best work. If you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. And while we're doing that, I want to tell everyone about our next cruise while I'm doing it, since we're talking about cruises. You know, our 10th annual MAGA cruise is in March. We're going to Antigua, Nassau in the Bahamas, and one of the Virgin Islands. I forgot which one. I've been to Nassau since I was like a teenager, and I've never been to Antigua. I'm very excited. This is our 10th annual MAGA cruise. You're all invited. There are some specials going on this week because of Labor Day being yesterday. I'm going to give you Ian's number. Call and join us, okay? Make your reservations. If you go with us, you're going to be paying less than anyone else on board the ship. We're going on the Celebrity Beyond. Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Dr. Phil Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years, working 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great, great, great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Over 6 days a week, come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialties.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. And thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. We take on the social justice breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. I think that was the first time I've ever had to use the dump button from Richie the bus driver. I don't think I've ever had to use the dump button with him before. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Stick to one topic. Let's debate. Can a MAGA be a Christian when the Bible contradicts every belief Jesus taught?
What?
Can a MAGA be a Christian when the Bible?
I don't know what a MAGA is. Is that kind of like those people that in Harry Potter that live under the MAGA? Oh, MAGA.
Are you just playing dumb or something on purpose, or what?
Yes, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, you are, because you don't have facts. That's all you can do.
No, because I know you're a jerk and you're trying to be nice, and I know it's hard for you to maintain it.
Dude,
really.
I tried to call you and be nice, and you hung up on me. You tried to deflect.
You're on right now. You're on right now. Well,
fake Christian belief. You insult atheists when you yourself are a hypocrite.
Well, listen, we're all sinners. There's only one man who lived who wasn't.
Okay, Proverbs 6, chapter 16, 16 through 19, talks about the 7 things God hates, and Trump is 7 for 7, and he's unrepentant about it. So, Brian, if I talk to you verbatim the way that Donald Trump speaks to people, and I was unrepentant about it, would you consider me a Christian?
I don't have an answer to that question, and you know, I'm good, but I am going to respond. I am going to respond to your original question, which was, can you be MAGA and be a Christian? And is Donald Trump a Christian? What has he done? That's all this stuff. Donald Trump has done something that Christians worldwide, from the Pope on down, have been trying to get done since 1973, and he did it. He overturned Roe v. Wade, okay? And because he overturned Roe v. Wade, the number of abortions committed, and notice I say committed, not performed, because this is not some artistic dance of ballet or something. The number of abortions committed in this country have dropped dramatically because he overturned Roe v. Wade. Over the course of history, there will be maybe even hundreds of millions, if not billions of people who live because Donald Trump did that. And there's been a lot of Christians who have been praying on that, millions forever. There's been past presidents and members of Congress who say they're Christians that have talked about it and didn't do it, but he did it. And there's no more Christian action a president could take than overturning Roe v. Wade. I think that's absolutely amazing, don't you?
In theory, sure. But why did he support the 15-week abortion ban in Florida then?
Well, he's not the president. The president is.
You're deflecting right
now. I'm not deflecting. In fact, you're the one that's deflecting because you're not even calling in about anything we're talking about on the show today, and I'm allowing the conversation to go in another direction. So you're the one who's deflecting from what I've been talking about for the last couple of hours. So I'm not deflecting. You just have an answer that doesn't fit your rehearsed in front of the mirror script with proverbs and everything.
I'm not reading anything. I'm talking to you straight up right now, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, I can't, I know, independently stupid.
No, you're, okay, whatever.
I'm a what? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. The dump button. See, I told it was coming. Yeah, see? Guys, see, Jeremy, I told you, Jeremy's filling in for Mike today. And before I didn't take calls right in the first segment. During the break, I said, hey, Jeremy, can you check, make sure the delay is on? And that's the third time today we've had to use the delay. And this true story, the reason I had arthritis was from the dump button. The dump button was in my left index finger. Every studio I've worked in, the dump button's always been on my right. I've always hit the dump button with my right index finger, and that's where I had the arthritis that Dr. Appleton rid me of, right here in this finger. And that's how I found out that Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment can rid you of arthritis pain. Have you had arthritis pain? Then you know what I'm talking. It's the worst. That arthritis pain was so bad I was almost in tears. I didn't know it was arthritis pain. I thought I jammed it like playing basketball, And Dr. Appleton examined me and he says, Brian, you have arthritis. And I remember exactly what I said. I said, I'm done, doc. I'm done. I got arthritis now. It's going to spread. I'm going to have it everywhere. Because I remember, my grandparents, with the arthritis in the hands and everything else. And Dr. Appleton said, no, the laser treatment works with arthritis pain. He says, come on. I'm going to give you a laser treatment right now. And here I am. The arthritis is gone. And let me give you Dr. Appleton's number. If I don't look, I'll give you his cell phone number by accident. That's why I always got to look at the numbers for sponsors, because if I do the number I call him at, I'll give you the cell phone. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too, like I've done 7 times. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Now, before I go back to the phones, the delay's re-engaged. First, I want to thank that lunatic caller for leading me into a great spot with Dr. Philip Appleton. It gave me an opportunity to talk about the laser wave pain treatment, having to use the dump button there. But the other thing is this. Did you notice that guy did? Now, you guys didn't get to hear what he said. Unless you were watching on YouTube, then you got to hear it. I did. He used the F word, he used the P word, and there was another one, which I'd forgotten. But he used 3 words, all of which had to be dumped. And that's why when you hit the dump button, you hang up on the caller, and then you hit the dump button. I love it. When I listen to shows on other radio stations, somebody uses profanity, they hit the dump button, and the caller's still on the, and there's 2 more, things go. I've heard that on national shows. And I remember Laura Ingraham, I heard it on her show all the time when she was on the radio. But I've heard it on a lot of shows, local and national. So you hang up on the caller, then you hit the dump button. You got plenty of time. The delay's at least 7.5 seconds. So you got plenty of time. Don't panic. But he had 3 curse words. This guy that used the F word, the P word, the grab and buy word, that word, and there was a 3rd one which I've forgotten. He's telling us what makes a good Christian when he's using language like that in a conversation on the air. But he's the one who's defining what being Christian is and what being a good Christian is, and he's telling us Donald Trump is not. But him using language like that, to me, he's the model Christian. I mean, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
JK from Delray.
Hey, Delray, what's up?
I was listening to that last guy, and he was pretty annoying, and I just wanted to support you and let you know. And I don't really like people calling in and, saying somebody's a Christian or not a Christian. The guy's running a country. Do you know how hard it is to run a country and to do it effectively? And you got some guy just sitting there probably in his bedroom, just sitting there trying to analyze who's a Christian, who's not. It doesn't make sense to me. I just,
Well, the caller is mentally ill. And a lot of, and I have a lot of experience with the mentally ill because a lot of the callers are. And I'm not joking, by the way. That guy's obviously mentally ill. And what I've learned about people that are mentally ill, at least the ones that have called me over the years, okay? Most mentally ill people have one thing they obsess on. His is Christianity. But they always, like Al the John is a mental patient. He's obsessed over a couple things. Mentally ill people have like one obsession. That's just the way it is. And for him to say, well, he's the decider of who's a Christian or not, I didn't know that was up to him. But to drop 3 hardcore profanity words at the end, all of which would have to be dumped, but he's the model Christian who's deciding who's Christian and not, and he doesn't even hear himself, right? That's how mentally ill he is.
Exactly. My point is it's very hard to run a country, and we're lucky.
Well, President Trump is running a country, not a church. This is not a theocracy, So while, President Trump would like all abortion to be gone, but the country's not there yet. You can't, you got to get the victories where you can, and if he were to push for a 100% abortion ban, we'd lose all the elections. The country's not there yet. But Roe v. Wade was overturned. There have been hundreds of thousands of babies born because of it already, maybe even millions already, because it's been a few years now. And and the country wasn't outraged by that. All right, take care. Appreciate the call from Delray. Well, thank you for calling. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thanks for proving my.
Okay. He's back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben, what's up?
Hey, yeah, so I actually wanted to call about, that guy who called in, demoralizing everyone else on whether a good Christian or not. And the caller who just called in, making the distinction that Trump's running a country, not a charity, that's a very good point. People constantly want to wag their finger at Trump in the most sinful, disgusting city on the planet, Washington, D.C. And what I say is, God uses imperfect instruments to implement his ends, and there is no more perfect instrument for the job of cleaning up that dirty, disgusting, sin-filled city than Donald Trump. You can't have the guy, the Graham, the nice Christian types taking that city on like Mike Johnson. Because what do we see when Mike Johnson gets into power? He gets steamrolled over. And so I think Trump is absolutely perfect for his position. I think that's why we've seen one of the most successful first start to a presidency ever, because he's not willing to be constrained by these fake Christians who will talk nice to your face and then turn around and stab you in the back or don't do anything about abortion or don't do anything about our borders. So I don't know what that guy's talking about. He certainly is in no position to judge anyone. And, Donald Trump, I think that bullet grazed his ear in Butler, not because God wasn't watching over and making sure that he was emperor. So that guy's a buffoon. The guy who called after him was right. He's running a country. This isn't the 700 Club. So,
Well, Trump's not I know they like to call him a dictator, but he's not. So life, when you're president or in your life, life is a bunch of compromises. And you can have all these intentions and say, well, listen, I'm not only against abortion, I'm opposed to the death penalty. I'm 100% pro-life, okay? And I'd be very happy if the country outlawed abortion. There's no need for it now. But that's not where the country is. So you can be president and take these bold stands and alienate everybody and then lose your whole agenda, or you make compromises and get through what you can, and slowly we win. Overturning Roe v. Wade was a huge Christian victory. Huge.
And you have to operate within the world, within the world that we live in. You can't, operate as if, I don't know, as if this is paradise on earth. We are actually fighting demons in the Democratic Party.
That's right.
Trump is a perfect person to actually stand up against it. You can't just stop the.
That's right. Listen, I gotta run. We're coming up on the top. All right. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. If you're on hold, stand by. Steve will be joining us after the top of the hour. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with Steve Kane and your calls.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Are you there? Yep, you there? You'll be louder when we're on. I'm at the radio station today, so I'll put you on hold, and then when I pick you up, you'll be able to hear me louder when I pick you up. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, hold on. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the first day after Labor Day. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning. How are you today?
All right, there's a lot going on, and there's something I wanted to run by you, but I don't know. Did you have anywhere you wanted to go before because I got a couple things I want to run by.
I'll follow your lead. At some point, I would like to pick up on that issue of whether you can teach morality without religion, which of course you can.
No. What the caller said, he's an atheist, right? He raised his children without instilling in them any of his own values, and exactly. I mean, it's just so bizarre. I mean, if you don't impress your value system upon your children, is that parent? I don't even know if that's parenting, unless you're like some evil person. Yeah, exactly. I had a couple things. One, this is not the main thing I wanted to. I've got actually 3 things I wanted to run by you. One I've not brought up on the air yet, which I'm going to do last. This one is just a minor thing. Bill Maher did an interview with Woody Allen this week, and I watched the whole interview. It was about 90 minutes, an hour and 40 minutes, and I watched the whole thing, and it was fascinating interview. And I might send you the link, or send your wife the link. You got to watch it. You'll like.
For Woody to do an interview.
Not only did Woody Allen do it's like a 90-minute interview. I watched every second of it, and Bill Maher and him, he talked about all the scandals. He had the scandal with Soon Lee and Mia Farrow, and then there was another scandal with one of his daughters with Soon Lee Previn. He talked about all the scandals as well as his career, at which I was in shock. The only reason, he did say a couple nice things about Trump. But I didn't quite get this. He said he directed Trump in something, and Trump is a very good actor who took direction well. And I don't know what was Trump in that was directed by Woody Allen.
Okay.
Because they didn't say what it was. They just assumed you knew. I did not know.
It was a cameo. So I don't know. I'm not sure if this is what he's talking about. But Trump did a Woody Allen picture that Trump did a cameo appearance.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a cameo, but I don't know what movie.
I'm trying to remember, and I can't. It was in one of the Manhattan.
It wasn't Manhattan Murder Mystery. What was the one with Chaz Palminteri? It couldn't have been that one. That's a great Woody Allen movie. Bullets Over Broadway. That's Bullets Over Broadway. If anyone.
He appeared on the floor of Bloomingdale's.
If anyone knows what movie Woody Allen directed that President Trump was in, let me know, because I have no idea. They just assumed you knew what it was because everybody's supposed to know everything Woody Allen ever did.
The one I'm thinking of was a cameo.
All of Trump's appearances in movies and TV have been cameos, but But he was really. He said he was a great actor. He took direction well, and And I don't know what it is. So if anyone knows, let me know.
The fact that he's said nice things about Trump.
Well, that was the only nice thing he said. That was the only nice thing. He disagrees. He said, I disagree with him 95% of the time, and then he changed it to 99.9% of the time. But he takes direction well, and he's a great actor. And he voted for Kamala Harris. But it was a great interview, and I don't know if you'll take offense by this or not. You might, but you're a lot like Woody Allen. I was watching this interview.
That all the time.
Just not as pathetic and as Woody, but
compliment.
And you look a little bit like Woody Allen on the profile sometimes. Sometimes on the side. But no, your personality is, because I always thought you were kind of like Larry David, but you're more like Woody Allen. I was very surprised.
Woody Allen and Larry David,
I know. Yeah, Larry David's he's doing a Woody Allen imitation, I think, probably, when he does his stuff. But or maybe it's just Jews from New York, I guess, from your generation, are all that way.
The anti-Trump stuff, he's not.
Yeah, but anyway, you'll watch. I'll send you the interview. You got to watch the whole thing. I saw a clip or two because of the Trump part, and I was like, let me watch the whole thing. And it was a pretty good interview. And if you're a Woody Allen insider, in fact, it was so good, I might buy his book. He has a new book out, so I might get the book. I might get it. Yeah, I will. I'll get it to you. But anyway, I had a couple things I wanted to bring up. One, I brought up at the top of the show. I want to bring up again and ask people to call in about it. And you know about and then there's a new thing I haven't brought up yet that I've been saving for the third hour for you. You know about the Mayor Giuliani car accident, right?
Well, I heard the report.
Well, and I'll walk you through why I think this. I think it was an attempted hit on Mayor Giuliani. I think they were trying to take Mayor Giuliani out, and I'm not kidding. And luckily he survived. But I'm concerned. I haven't gotten. Is he still in the hospital? Do you know? Does anyone know? Is
he had back injury?
Pretty bad, yeah. what got me a little nervous about his health is President Trump announced yesterday he's going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And Giuliani's deserving of the Presidential Medal of Freedom many times over, from cleaning up New York to 9/11, what he's gone through since he, in the last 5 years. He deserves the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But the last time President Trump came out with a Presidential Medal of Freedom out of nowhere is when he gave it to Rush in his first term, and Rush was dying. And I'm just wondering, is Mayor Giuliani's condition worse than we may think because of this Presidential Medal of Freedom thing? But here's why I think, when I go through the details of the accident, it sounds like a professional hit job, okay? It's very detailed. I'll walk you through the whole thing, okay? And those of you on hold, we'll get to the calls in a bit, so hang in there. Okay. Mayor Giuliani has taken on a lot of big bad people, right? He got famous taking down the mob, okay, in New York, right? Then he became mayor and he cleaned up crime. And I'll tell you, as controversial as things are with Trump cleaning up D.C., it was just as controversial when he was cleaning up New York City, Giuliani. Remember? I mean, people were pissed. He did that stop and frisk, which should be the law of the land, stop and frisk, and a bunch of other things. And I remember the first time I went to New York as an adult, I was terrified. It was before Giuliani was mayor. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. Steve, I went to Times Square. I dreamed of Times Square my whole life, and it was I was terrified. Okay, you go after Giuliani cleaned it up. Now it's different, but after Giuliani cleaned it up, Times Square was Disney World, right? I mean, it was, now it's gone down the tubes again in many parts. But anyway, he's always been controversial. However, Giuliani is the person who got the Hunter Biden laptop. The guy from the computer shop didn't tell anybody about it. He knew we could trust Mayor Giuliani, and he got the laptop, the Hunter Biden laptop from hell. He got it to Mayor Giuliani. And they have been out to destroy Mayor Giuliani's life ever since. He's financially bankrupt, pretty much, right? They've been going after him. They've destroyed his life financially. We still love him, and he's a great American. And, and I'm very excited and everything else, about him getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But the people he took, the deep state, the top deep state people that are being called out right now and are in these grand juries that Attorney General Pam Bondi has here in Florida, in Fort Pierce, the people that they're getting indictments on are people that were on that letter saying that the laptop was Russian disinformation. And you look at what they've done to Mayor Giuliani since then. Steve, a few months ago, he was driving around here in Palm Beach in his car. He had like a convertible Beamer or something. And some judge somewhere was trying to seize his car for some court case that these lawfare people have brought against Giuliani. So they have really been after him for a long time. And now that these indictments are coming down, so the car accident and why I think it was a hit, and I am not kidding, okay? Now, again, if some more information comes out, I'm open to change this. It wasn't two women that rear-ended him. That's not what happened. This happened in New Hampshire. When I first heard on Sunday he had been in a car accident, it didn't surprise me because I know he's, I've seen him lately, and he's, and I thought, was it in Palm Beach? But he wasn't driving. He had an aide driving, an assistant was driving. They're driving down the road in New Hampshire, and there was a damsel in distress on the side of the road. Mayor Giuliani had his assistant pull over to help the damsel in distress, a victim. She needed his help, and he had the guy pull over. Now we know Mayor Giuliani, as great of a man as he is, he has a problem with the ladies. Okay, he's always had problems with the ladies. He's been married multiple times. But if you remember, Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, did a sequel a couple years back, and he used a honeypot and got Mayor Giuliani to go back to her hotel with him. And he was undoing his clothes through the guise of adjusting the mic. Remember all that? So he's he falls victim. We saw him fall victim to the honeypot in that instance. And this damsel in distress story, I just don't buy. I mean, how often in your life, Steve? Well, first of all, there is a little bit more, and I'll tell you after the break, okay? Because do we have any recordeds here? Any recorded spot? Okay, let's talk to your attorney. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group, and then I'll tell you the rest of the story, Steve. It's time to check in with your attorney, Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry Siegel. Oh, we're doing great. You sound well rested from Labor Day. Absolutely.
Work back to our routines and back to school, all of those things. I was looking at one of our Facebook posts. We have a lot of Facebook and Instagram posts, so if anybody's interested in getting information from time to time, please look us up on both of those social media platforms and follow us. But one of the comments today, because there was a post that was advertising our upcoming Medicaid seminar that's going to be in our office in Boca Raton on Saturday at 10 a.m. So we have another Saturday morning Medicaid seminar, and those have been very well attended. The question somebody was asking was they were confused between Medicare and Medicaid. And, a lot of people get those terms confused. Number one, they sound alike. They're very similar words. They're both government programs. They both deal with seniors and healthcare issues. So I understand that it's confusing. But beyond those issues, they're very, very different. Medicare, think of it more as health insurance. It does the same thing that a lot of health insurance would do, like doctor's visits, hospitalization, prescription drugs, those kinds of things. And it's a very complicated area, so I suggest you speak to a qualified Medicare advisor. If you need somebody, let us know. We'll be happy to connect you with somebody. But we're talking about Medicaid at our seminar and when we talk to you about it on the show. And that is really a different program. That is a government-based program. It's governed by the states. They have their own rules, and Florida happens to be one of the best states. And it really is a way to help people avoid the high cost of long-term care. Long-term care is care that you may need in order to get help with activities of daily living, like feeding yourself, bathing, toileting, dressing, walking, all of these things that you may potentially need help with in the future. And you may either need that help at home or in a facility outside, like an assisted living facility or a nursing home. And Medicaid can help pay for that, so you don't have to spend down your hard-earned assets and your potential limited savings and potentially go broke. That's what we talk about with Medicaid, and that's what our seminar is all about on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
The loved ones are taken care of and don't run out of money before you run out of life. You should come to our seminar.
Yeah, and I want to highlight to people, don't think that you have too much money, too many assets, that you don't qualify for Medicaid, that it's just for like very poor people or homeless. Don't make that mistake at all, or unless you don't mind spending down all your assets forever and ever and be broke, But you should go to that workshop on Saturday. I've been to many of Attorney Barry Siegel's workshops. I went to your Saturday workshop on Medicaid planning, and I got to tell you, Barry, as much as you and I talk about it, I don't know anything about it. I learned so much in that workshop, so far and above anything that you've mentioned when you call in on the program. They're not only are they very informative, but they are interesting. And I encourage you to go to these workshops, because not only do you get great information from Attorney Barry Siegel, you get to meet Attorney Barry Siegel and his staff. And I think that means a lot, Barry, because people are entrusting you and your great staff at the Siegel Law Group with such important things, and getting to meet you and your staff, I think is equally as important as the information that they get. Okay, the number, give them a call. It's 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right. Take care. All right, we're back, Steve. So let me finish. Yeah. Yeah.
Pinpoint this.
Yeah.
Having listened to everything you've said so far, this is my question. Other than the fact that both the old accident and the current accident involved automobiles and involved women, what are the other common characteristics?
I'm going to tell you. Okay, so let me rewind a little bit, and I'll finish the rest of the story real quick in the Reader's Digest version. Okay, so we can talk about it and lay my case. Because if you're just tuning in, I don't accept that Mayor Giuliani was in a random car accident. I think it very well may have been a hit. He was behind the laptop exposure and everything, and these laptop people are the ones facing indictment from Pam Bondi right now. No. Okay, so he's not driving. This is New Hampshire. He's got an assistant driving. He sees this damsel in distress, who we find is a victim of domestic violence. He sees this hottie on the road. He had his guy pull over. They go to help her by calling 911. Just as the police are to arrive, the police had not stopped and gotten involved with the mayor yet, or the damsel in distress, but they were in visual range of the mayor. That's when the other woman rear-ended him and caused these injuries that got him hospitalized. And it seemed to me the honeypot, he had fallen victim to a honeypot before in the Borat movie. Okay, it sounds like a honeypot setup, and the woman, yeah, there's one other thing. The woman rear-ended just as the police were in visual range to eyewitness, and immediately when the story broke, the release of the news goes, there was no foul play here. This was not a hit. It was an accident. Well, how do they determine that before an investigation? And
well, how did you determine?
And Mayor Giuliani's life is at some risk because he has a security detail. Why would he have a security detail if he's not at risk just driving around on the road?
There's a permanent security.
No, he doesn't. I've seen him around Palm Beach all on his lonesome. So here's the other thing, Steve. This damsel in distress is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Okay, how many times, have you seen a movie or a television show where they have a woman who's broken down in need of help on the side of the road? The guy pulls over to get him, and they got the guy. It's an old tactic. And also, the damsel in distress is one of the oldest. The broken down woman on the side of the road is one of the oldest male fantasies, that the hottie on the side of the road needs you to, Christy Brinkley in National Lampoon's Vacation, okay? And it's one of the, it's not bizarre, Steve. I'm telling you, it could have been a hit.
A hit? You think they're trying to assassinate the deal? Staging?
It's very possible. We got a full board of calls. Maybe some people have some opinions on it, but yeah. Everything about it stinks.
God.
Oh yeah. How can they tell it when they came out immediately and said this is no foul play, this was not a hit? They did no investigation. How can they determine that?
Talk to the people at the scene, I'm sure. There was
the honeypot. Steve, listen. Honeypots is a tactic that these deep staters use all the time. They're up against it now, and a lot of them have been exposed because of him with the laptop.
You're staging an accident to
yes.
Success would risk you'd be asking somebody to sacrifice their own.
No. These are
a rear-ended accident.
The damsel in distress was not in Giuliani's vehicle, and the 19-year-old girl that hit from behind, it's not. You're not necessarily risking your life.
Hey, I'm speechless.
I know. Well, let's take some calls, okay? I've lost track of who's called when and where and everything else, so let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, JJ, speak up.
Hey, Steve, Brian, good morning. JJ from Mass.
I can't hear you.
We'll try.
I'll speak up as loud as I can. I looked into this a little bit further, Brian. You and I had talked about it yesterday. He was released, by the way. He was released Labor Day sometime afternoon time, I believe.
I can't do anything about it, Steve. The volume, he's talking loud. The problem's on your end. No, the problem's on your end. It's on your end. Can you hear the caller at all? Tell me that. Do you hear the caller at all?
No.
All right. Well, but you can hear Steve, right, caller? Okay. The problem's on your end, Steve. I can't do anything about it right now. All right, go ahead, JJ.
Well, so I looked into it a little bit more, Brian, and listen, you got a lot of facts. I mean, you can't deny that Rudy Giuliani is not liked by, say, mobsters and the people from the laptop and the crazy left. But I look at this, if it was a hit, Brian, I mean, just one quick piece of information up front, I don't think they'd send a 19-year-old girl.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And then you look at an HV, and then look at
3,000-pound car against a Bronx.
I don't know.
No, that's just it. Those were the cars. And here's the thing: the domestic violence was happening on one side of 93. And they were on the other side of 93, and it was at like about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Well, the other thing is, okay, first of all, come on. How many times in your life has there been a woman in need of rescuing on the side of the road that you pulled over and helped?
In New Hampshire, a few times, but that is New Hampshire. See, here's the thing. I thought about
New Hampshire. What women are in distress on the sides of the roads in New Hampshire all the time?
In the middle of winter, Brian, people get stuck in the snow.
When is it snowing in New Hampshire right now?
It's a question I just...
Okay. All right. Okay. So here's the other thing. The deep state is in full of force right now. Tomorrow, Massey and Ro Khanna are having a press conference. Have you heard about this, Steve? By the way, JJ, thanks for the call. Yeah, Massey and Ro Khanna, that jerk Massey, that traitor. Okay, they're having a press conference tomorrow with 10 Epstein victims, right? Anytime these deep state people are in trouble, you start seeing Epstein stories everywhere, and I almost expect one of these at this press conference, some fake slanderous allegations against our president. The deep state is in full force right now, reacting to Trump.
The Trump incident with...
Well, the press conference is tomorrow, but why is Massey having a press conference with 10 Epstein victims? I mean, I think the deep state's in a panic because of the John... Yeah, Michael Cohen said over the weekend that Bolton's going to go to prison from this search, that they already had he said they had what they were looking for before they got there, okay? So, they're in a panic, they're fearing prison, and they're doing crazy, stupid things. All right, let's take another couple of calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. Yep. Oh, you just made it. Yep. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I didn't hear the click. How am I coming in? IB.
IB, you're fine.
Good morning, y'all. Wow. You know what? The Democrats they're so cunning and sneaky. If they did not insert those last words as if they knew what happened when there was no investigation, if it wasn't for that, then I might not have called in. But that there alone shows,
Yeah, they said there was no foul play. Steve, how do they, listen, I remember this. Okay. By the way, IB, you're right. I agree with you. Okay, now, Steve, remember when Andrew Breitbart died? Steve? Okay. One of the things that caused an incredible amount of speculation that Andrew Breitbart, when he died, he had just given this big speech at CPAC, and this was years ago. Obama was president, okay? And he gave this speech, Andrew Breitbart. He said, I have just come into the possession of a whole bunch of tapes about Obama that no one's seen that's going to totally expose him for who he is and who he was associating with in college. And then next thing you know, he promised this at CPAC, and then a short time later, he dropped dead on the sidewalk walking home from a bar in Brentwood, California. And what set off the sirens of suspicion wasn't just that he had made this claim, okay? And by the way, the same people after Breitbart are the same people that have been after Trump and hate Giuliani, the Obama people, right? When Andrew Breitbart dropped dead out of the blue on the sidewalk, he was at a bar where he was having drinks and a long conversation, it was reported, with a man who I've never seen identified. But what set off the real suspicion of foul play that still exists today, even though many people like Steve Bannon say that it was just a heart attack, the coroner, before an autopsy, said he died of a heart attack, and it was in the LA Times, and when no foul play, he had a heart attack. And I remember you saying, well, how can he determine that without the autopsy? I've never seen a coroner release a cause of death to the media without the autopsy, but the one in the Breitbart instance did.
What does that have to do with this?
Well, with Giuliani, the same people that were after Breitbart, Andrew Breitbart, are the same people that are after Trump and Giuliani. That's the Obama people. Because Breitbart said, I have these Obama tapes that are going to expose him in college with his associations. You're going to find out who Obama really is. We never saw the tapes, by the way, after he died. Same people after Breitbart that hate Trump and hate Giuliani. And
That evidence.
Evidence, I'm not in a court. We're in the court of public opinion and common sense. But
It's not making, look, I'd like to agree with you, but...
Steve, they released a statement immediately. There was no foul play. This was not a hit. How did they determine the cause of the accident without an investigation? There was no accident investigation. They're still in the ER, and they say...
With the people that were involved in the...
No, that never happened. No, I've been following the story. All right, I'm gonna put you on hold, Steve. We'll, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. If you're a Medicare recipient or about to turn 65, listen up. I want to talk to you about Medicare. Medicare, it's confusing. That's done on purpose, right? You go online, what do you find? More confusion. A lot of people, they try to go it alone, or they deal with someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about, and what happens? It ends up costing them thousands of dollars sometimes each year. And also, they find out maybe their doctors or the medications, they might not be covered either. That's where Chapter comes in. Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that compares all of the over 24,000 plans out there for you. They'll find the one that's right for you and your budget. And no matter where you are in the United States, Chapter can help. You're going to get answers, you're going to get them fast, and you're going to get them for free. So whether you're on Medicare right now or turning 65 soon, give Chapter a call. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the episode. You're going to talk to a real person. They're going to walk you through everything step by step. No gimmicks, just real help. Because the right plan, it can save you thousands. Again, the number 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Get your Medicare questions answered free. 805-754-3033. Your health and your wallet will thank you. All right, we'll be back soon. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay, are you able to, when we're on the air, are you able to hear me fine? Steve? Steve? Hey, when we were on the air, could you hear me fine? No. But before, in the last segment, could you hear me okay? Just not the callers? Okay. Yeah, I'm at the radio station today. So, okay, I'm gonna put you on. We're coming back. Hold on. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. They updated the Rejoin Steve, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, I know. All right, let's take another call or two, and then I got a couple other things that I haven't brought up yet that I wanted to share with you and the audience, okay? Let's... Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Cynthia from Lake Worth Beach.
Hey, Cynthia. Is any better, Steve?
No.
Oh, great. Okay. All right, go ahead, Cynthia.
All right, so the film, Woody Allen's film was Celebrity from 1998.
Oh.
Trump plays himself and does a tongue-in-cheek cameo.
Okay.
He's going to rip down St. Patrick's and build a very tall building.
Oh, okay. So it's the Woody Allen movie Celebrity. I don't know if who stars in that? Oh, I've not seen that one.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, and I watched a lot of the films.
I think Woody Allen's overrated. I mean, I like a couple of his movies. You know, Purple Rose of Cairo, a couple others, but he's overrated.
Darling of Hollywood.
He's got a handful of good movies.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. He's got a handful of great movies.
Hannah and Her Sisters, Bullets Over Broadway, Purple Rose of Cairo. Those are my favorites.
None of those are
New Yorkers loved him. The other thing about Giuliani, that was the first thing I thought was exactly what you thought. When I heard it immediately, I thought, okay, they tried to do a Princess Diana.
See, this is. All right, go ahead, finish up.
But after hearing JJ with the Honda, it could have been a deranged person, someone that had derangement.
Well, that's also a hit. I'm just telling you that the idea that there's some hot damsel in distress on the side of the highway, come on, give me a break. That's just, I don't buy it. I've never had that happen to me. No, I'm not presenting evidence in a court. I'm just using some common sense.
You be able to get a thing like that in front of a jury?
No.
Of course.
But a jury let OJ go. Well, Steve, I haven't done an investigation. I'm just following the news accounts, and it sounds like a honeypot to me. Especially, listen, if I had not seen that video from the Borat movie where the honeypot got Giuliani into a hotel room on a bed, undoing his pants, I wouldn't have even thought about it. But you factor all that in, come on.
Yeah, I thought
I
it
don't see
immediately.
how that's related.
Okay. All right, take care. I mean, you're not going to agree, I know, but all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're a good caller. What do you got for us?
Oh, now Steve can hear when we get one of our dregs on. Okay. Now it's working.
Hey, now, Brian, you sound a little retarded here. You sound like a meathead, dead from the neck up. If you think that a 19-year-old girl's going to take a little bitty car and try to kill Giuliani with it while she kills herself, you sound pretty stupid. Why would a
19-year-old try to kill himself.
First off, I'm not suggesting that. And the thing is, when you see, you're in, when you're one of the most dangerous places to be is on the side of the road out of your car. It's very dangerous. And excuse me, I'm responding. You're calling me all kinds of names and everything. I'm responding. You don't have to do much damage to a vehicle to move the vehicles to run somebody over with the parked car that you hit. I think there's a very high likelihood it was a hit that was thankfully not successful.
On the other side of the road, and a teen-year-old girl's going to take a life behind.
I didn't say anything about that. It may not have been high risk on her end. All right. Well, when I make sense to you, I would have to reflect on anything I've said. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jack. I'm really concerned about President Trump's health. Can you guys bring that up?
No. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, hey, Frenchie.
How's it going? Hey, that girl is 19 years old. Are you going to tell me she didn't have a cell phone?
Turn down the volume in the background, caller, because of the delay. I'm still hearing Jay from Jersey. That was like 2 callers ago. Yeah, go ahead.
19-year-old girl in New Hampshire doesn't have a cell phone?
Yeah. Exactly.
What? Homeless people have cell phones.
Correct.
I don't.
So you agree with me that it very well could have been an attempted hit on the mayor?
Yes, but who knows? I don't think they tried to kill him. I think they're just trying to distract something.
Mm-hmm. Like with this Epstein press conference tomorrow that Massey's having.
It's going to be nothing. Trump's going to make some military announcement today. You see any of that on the news? No, I watch Newsmax. It's the only.
Yep.
Who doesn't? It's a phone. Everybody's got a phone. 6-year-olds have phones.
Well, I tell you, when I was driving to the radio station this morning, I'm going northbound on 95. I see a car in the swale on the side of the road on I-95 northbound. They have their hazards on. Yeah, and I saw 2 highway patrol officers just go by like nothing. They didn't check because everybody has phones. Very few people, and this idea of the damsel in distress on the side of the road is, come on, give me a freaking break. Let me ask you, how many hotties have you seen on the side of the road that needed you to rescue them?
Whole idea is ridiculous. I see them walking up and down Canner all the time. I don't stop and ask them.
Those are called hookers. All right, appreciate the call. All right, take care. Yeah. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John, Michigan.
Yes, Michigan.
Ask him to speak up, please.
You're not missing much, Steve. Go ahead, Michigan.
Yeah, I think you boomers and Gen Xers are trying to miss the point on purpose.
Okay, well, good. Figure it out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello,
Yes.
I'm Joe from West Palm Beach.
All right.
The thing about Giuliani, what do we get out of it if something happens to him or something doesn't happen to him? Who cares?
I care. I love Giuliani. He's a great American. He's an American hero.
You should have picked him up on the side of the road then. It could have happened to anybody. You ever seen videos where cops are standing on the side of the road and they get hit by people?
What I find unusual about it is there's a deep state reaction now that. Yeah, who do you think shot Trump in Butler?
Some schmuck.
Who cares who shot Trump? You don't care? What do you care? What do you care? What do you care about?
I care about the Constitution.
The Constitution. All right.
The Constitution, that's right.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, and? So you must love Trump who cares about the Constitution.
Not when he's trying to take it away.
How's he trying to take it away?
Well, let's start. He's headed towards denying or trying to figure out a way of denying votes from people.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No. No, he's signing an executive order ending mail-in voting. That's not taking votes away.
What about our soldiers?
The military would be exempt. The military, all of us. You mean the ones that you Democrats used to spit on in the 60s and 70s? The soldiers overseas will be able to vote. The soldiers overseas will be able to mail in their vote.
So wait a minute. So the soldiers can send their votes, which is fabulous.
Yes.
What about veterans?
Well, then you go to the local you go to the local library. You go to the local voting booth. See, in some states, in some states, yeah.
You expect a veteran who is bedridden and unable to go. Let's say he's on dialysis or she's on dialysis because they don't want women helping us fight, for God's sakes.
Uh-huh.
They can't fight, right? They can't.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. Oh, I let him. I thought that was the cue to let him go. I let him go. I let him go. I thought you wanted me to hang up on him. I misread your cue. Well, you could hear him. You told me you could hear the call. You couldn't hear that guy? Well, you're okay. The problem's on your end. It's not here at the radio station. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take the call. We'll take the break because it's Gold Report time, and I'll put you on hold. Then we'll go back to you, and we won't take calls in the last segment. Okay, let's go. All right, let's check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with our first post-Labor Day gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
The metal's looking amazing, Brian. The markets on Friday, if you recall, they were down in the morning, but at the time I had said that I was looking for gold to post a new all-time record high in September. Well, it happened on Friday, believe it or not, and then re-happened, made it even higher on Monday while our markets were closed. The world markets were open and traded in a range of $3,435 all the way up to $3,490 and closed out Monday at $3,475.70. That was up $29.20, but that was after also touching 3,500. Silver up $1.05 on Monday at $40.66, blowing through that $40 resistance. Platinum gained $39 yesterday at $1,404. Palladium was up $26 at $11.35. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $34.72 on the low, all the way up to $3,501 on the high. And right now we're at $34.74.90. That's only up at about $1.20. The silver is down 46 cents, of course, after hitting almost $41 over the weekend, and now at $40.20 the ounce, down 46 cents. Platinum down $24 at $1,371, and palladium down $28 at $1,107. So this is very typical of the markets when they run up and make these new highs to see them kind of reverse and go back down and on profit take. But this market has got some real steam in it, and we are looking for much higher price.
So,
by the way, my prediction for this for between now and next year, sometime or into next year, is going to be around $3,700 for gold. And
wow,
predictions are on the light side, but I do think we're going to see $3,700 gold.
So is the new official all-time high for gold $3,501 now? 35. Okay, that's the new 3501. That's an easy one to remember. That's insane. I mean, that's it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. You know, when you hear these dips, it's time to buy. And what's silver today?
Silver is right this minute $40.20. We did hit a high of $41 at one point, I think, during the trading session.
Oh my!
But silver is still only, while it's at about a 14-year high right now, we are still about $10 off of its all-time high of $50 that it set in 1980 and also in 2011. So we've got a ways to go. Silver easily go another 25% before we even get to its all-time high. So we've got some work to do there, but I think we're going to see silver continue to push higher.
Yeah, what are some of the best buys in silver right now? I know in the bar form, I know with some of the larger bars, there's usually some good deals.
Oh yeah, the bars you can buy very reasonable. All of the silver products are on sale, so that gives you not only a great opportunity to buy silver, but buy it at some of the lowest premium we've seen, including 90% silver at zero premium too.
Oh my goodness, 90% is at zero premium. Oh my, so basically, because a lot of silver stackers I know have their favorite. So whatever your favorite is, it's good time right now. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Stop in. That 90% with zero premium. I don't think I've ever heard that before. That's amazing. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, well, Steve, since we're having problems on your end, I'm not going to take any more calls in the last segment, but there's some things to talk about. But I got to tell you, the new high for gold, $3,501. We just hit a historic high.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, I can't even, it hasn't sunk in yet. And gold breaking 40, silver breaking 40. Phew. And I've been asking William a lot about the 90% silver. Now we got zero premium on 90% silver, so you're getting it at the metal price, at the melt price, or whatever they call it. I mean, that's I really like the 90% silver. It's just a lot of fun, and it's worth money. It's silver. I realized when I had to buy a new refrigerator, and I went over to Williams. I had 4 silver coins, and I got a new stainless steel refrigerator, top of the line, but I just had a couple coins in my hand from silver. It's money. Okay, now there's the Giuliani thing. No one is speculating on that but me, okay? And everyone else is like you. Nah, I don't agree with that at all. But there was another story I have not brought up that I wanted to run by you. This is so insane, okay? This is just so twisted. The final twist of this story. Okay, did you hear the other day that federal judge that blocked Trump's mass deportations, that Obama judge? Okay.
The one who won't let the kids return to their parents.
Exactly. Okay. So there's this lady Obama judge. Her name is Gia Cobb. She's an Obama appointee. She passed this order not to stop all of the deportations of the invaders of our country. This Obama appointee. Listen to this. I tell you, these people, Washington is so incestuous, it's beyond imagination. So the judge that ordered the stop of all deportations, she's also the judge in the mortgage fraud case with Lisa Cook, that lady from the Fed board. That lady on the Fed board that's like doing a Letitia James and Adam Schiff. She's got all these mortgage fraud things. Trump fired her. How dare you fire me, the first black woman to be on this board? Forget about the mortgage fraud. I'm the first, So it gets worse. So the Obama judge that ordered an end to the deportations of President Trump is the same judge that's overseeing this Lisa Cook mortgage fraud case. But guess what? She's a sorority sister with the Fed board lady, Lisa Cook. And she hasn't recused herself. They're part of a racially segregated sorority. I mean, what the hell? And it's not, this hasn't even been in the news. Have you heard anybody mention this? This dropped days ago, and BS. The news is still, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So listen to this. Judge Gia Cobb, who blocked Trump's mass deportations, is overseeing the mortgage fraud case of Lisa Cook from the Fed board, is her sorority sister, and they're part of this. By the way, I'm sorry, I misspoke. She was appointed by Biden, not Obama. this thing with these racially segregated sororities that these black women have in government, right? This is the second time this has happened recently. In the presidential debate between President Trump and Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, on ABC with David Muir, David Muir had a lady moderator with him from ABC News. She was sorority sisters with Kamala. Okay, I mean, these black sororities apparently they're all a part of them, the black women in D.C. This is one of the biggest political scandals in recent years, and that's saying a lot. No one in the news is reporting this. It's in the Gateway Pundit. She, even when it was brought up, she still has refused to recuse herself. The judge is a criminal. In fact, Steve, when this woman, and keep in mind, she is the judge overseeing the criminal mortgage fraud case of her. Okay, she's and they've got her. When Lisa Cook was appointed to the Fed board, the judge that's overseeing her criminal mortgage fraud case said this is a historic appointment, the first African American woman, and so so she's her sorority sister. She said she's a historical figure, and she still refuses to recuse herself. The way that these people. We're in a banana republic. We really
The quickest decision they're going to come up with.
No one's brought it up yet. It hasn't gotten to the Supreme Court yet.
Appealed to.
The what? Her overseeing the case, the sorority sister? I haven't seen that. If it has, I've missed it. The deportation case? Yes. Yes, the deportation case is going to the court. I'm talking about her overseeing her corrupt sorority sister with the mortgage fraud. Yes. Yes.
Issue.
Yes.
Great example of it.
Yeah, I mean this judge should be in jail. She should be in front of another judge. I mean, the way these judges are operating, and then we got the other judge that ordered the closure of Alligator Alcatraz. These judges think they're running the country. There was another judge over the Labor Day week.
They get to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is up to this point straightened them out pretty well.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, I'm sick of. I don't ever remember judges interfering with the day-to-day decision making of any president before.
For a long time.
Before Trump, I never, no.
The ninth district is the court they always appeal to, and the liberals.
Well, yes, but that was during Trump's first term, right? Remember with the Muslim ban and all that? I'm talking about other presidents. I have no memory of any other president dealing with this.
High profile as it is now.
Because they're doing it every day. Like it would happen like once a year. Yeah. Well, there's one judge that's made this is something I didn't know. There's one of the federal judges in one of these rulings. I can't remember which one it is. Let me see. We're almost out of time. I don't know if I can pull it up, but she's not even a U.S. citizen, and she's a federal judge. Let me see if I can pull this one up real quick, which case it is. Because, I mean, some of these cases have just gotten out of control. I can't find it right now. We're almost out of time.
Control for a long time.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
It is. This is as bad as it gets.
It is. I'll tell you though, who looks like they're in a lot of trouble because it's a headline story in most every news publication in America today. And today, even though it's Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, it's kind of like Monday. So it's the start of a new news cycle, and it's Ilhan Omar with her money, because she had done a federal disclosure recently that she was in the negative, and now she's worth $30 million. And yeah, $30 million. She was bankrupt not too long ago, and let's see, since now again, we're towards the end of 2025, right? Since 2023, 2 years ago, her net worth has increased by 3,500%.
Going to ask you to explain it?
It's just starting, yes. All right, because she just did some disclosures. Her salary is $174,000 a year. Her net worth is now $30 million. And yeah, she, in fact, in 2019, she reported a negative net worth of $45,000 in the negative. So she was 45. She was, oh yeah, and it's the lead story in most of the political news outlets around the country today. So in 2019, her net worth on her disclosure forms was negative. I've never seen a negative net worth before, but a negative $45,000. That's when she first got elected to Congress, right? So when she won her first election to Congress in 2019, her net worth was negative $45,000. Now her net worth is $30 million. $30 million. In 6 years, her net worth has increased 66,676%.
Investigation.
It's in every news outlet, so people are starting to look into it. So she's in trouble. Ilhan Omar's in some trouble. Whatever they can get him in, right? Whatever, you know, we didn't get Al Capone on murders or anything, but we got him. Whatever you can get them on is good enough for me. And Ilhan Omar is a very bad person. All right. Well, she is one. I mean, she's Muslim, right? She's the Muslim leader of America, practically. All right. Well, listen, we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will already be Wednesday. Can you believe it? They're working now. It's on your end. I'll call you after the show, and we'll figure it out. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane has been here. My name is Brian Craig. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. And those of you we didn't take in the last segment, hang in there, and you'll be first in line tomorrow morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow, 6. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I got to clear out of here to make way for the next show. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching.